loose and
here's my suggestion.
Disaster.
Jimmy, plug it in right there. See if that works for you.
I had it okay.
Maybe it's your headphones. Ever think about that?
It just I think, Matt, because now it's a little bit better. You just got to jam it in right.
It's right.
Like it can't be. It's got to be like a little loose, but not too loose.
Yeah.
But you just got to jam it in. Maybe you need some of this. This is the Zolak
the feet
lubricant.
lotion. Yeah.
You just need some lubricant. Get a little lube up in there. Just jam it right in.
That's how you celebrate the 5th of July.
Or do you need to
a.m.?
like a soft touch to get it in?
I'm more. The second approach is generally more the way to go about it. That would be my suggestion, Jim.
But now it's better.
Not that you want to take my advice on anything in regards to that.
Not be aggressive with the headphone jack and just jam it in there.
Jam it.
No, you got to be soft, soft and delicate.
That's generally the approach, at least to start out. How you doing, Jimmy?
I'm okay. I'm a little sluggish, and not from being hungover from the 4th. Just, don't we do the 1812 Overture?
Oh, yeah.
At the end, doesn't Keith Lockhart usually do that to close out the Boston Pops?
I've got an issue with that. Kyle, if you would, please.
Isn't that usually how we do this?
Generally.
Since 1770 or since 1812? Because it couldn't be 1776 because historically it wasn't around.
Well, I mean, the 1812 Overture, by the way, has nothing to do with the War of 1812. It's actually more of a Russian thing.
Oh. But this is how it's supposed to end, right? This is how the Boston Pops are supposed to end?
Yeah, I think it was in 1976. Arthur Fiedler, is the bicentennial, and he's like, I need a badass way to end my concert. If you could pot that up a little bit there more, Kyle.
Turn it up, Kyle!
Turn it up, Kyle. Stop talking up Kendra. Pay attention. Do your job.
Kendra's great, by the way.
The best.
Kendra needs more hours.
I agree. You know what we also need more of? This. Cannons. Can't you hear that? Cannons. I'm still not hearing it as much as I need to. Listen to those violins, Jimmy. That's not just one sad violin. That's an orchestra violin. I got a problem.
Have you ever seen this live, by the way?
Never,
really?
Not once. Have you been to the Pops?
Yes.
It's a good time?
It's a great time.
Don't you have to get there really early?
You do. You get there really early. You get there really early. You get a good spot. Or if you have somebody who lives in the neighborhood who's got a roof deck.
That's the approach.
Or you can always go to the Cambridge side, and you can figure out things on the Cambridge side. But it's a great experience. I went there as a kid. I've gone there as an adult. Amazing experience. I love a good orchestra.
I do too.
The Christmas Pops are great. The Boston Pops out on the water. Tremendous time. Highly recommend it. 5 stars.
We have one of the great orchestras in the world here, Jimmy. And I tune in every year at about 9 o'clock because I know how it goes because it's the same thing every year.
Which is great. Traditions are great.
It is our great Boston 4th of July tradition. The Pops on the Esplanade, one of the world's great orchestras. And they bring out guests, and that's fine. Whatever. I can do without the guests. But I tune in every year at 9 o'clock. I keep it on in the background just so I don't miss the 1812 Orchestra, which always plays around about 9:30, 9:40. Towards the end of the concert, they play this. They set off the fireworks. Then they play a couple more songs, and then it's the real fireworks. It's the appetizer, but it is it's a finale before the encore type of thing. And then a couple more patriotic songs, and that's it. Thanks for coming out. 9:40 last night. They play Stars and Stripes Forever. Good night, everybody. Here are the fireworks. What? Where's my overture? Keith! Channel 7! Where's my overture? Where was it? They played it at 8:30 last night, apparently. Was Channel 7 even broadcasting it at 8:30? I don't know.
I don't have Channel 7. I found out.
Couldn't find it. Bump it up. We'll play it for you. They won't.
Cowards.
Agreed, cowards. Bill Biv DeVoe, boom. You get that. That other lady who was singing, boom. You get that. Right in front of the cannons. You know what? Put Keith in front of the cannons, too, at this point. Fire! Fire! Ruin my 4th. The Red Sox are my sworn enemy, Jimmy. Not anymore. I've got a new one. Keith Lockhart and the Boston Pops.
I don't think it was his call.
Canceled. Officially canceled. Jackasses. So if it's not Keith's fault, Jimmy, whose fault is it?
Don't you have to blame the city of Boston? Don't you have to blame Tour Boston or something?
Right, yeah, Meet Boston or whatever
Boston,
it is. Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
call the
might,
mayor's office.
They might not have John Cena's last match here because they don't want to pay WWE. So like they probably couldn't afford the placement of the 1812 Overture. I guess this has been a Boston tradition since 1975.
Yes, Arthur Fiedler knew he needed something badass, and what is more badass than a 15-minute piece of music ending with cannon fire? Literal cannon fire.
Maybe the neighbors complained about it.
No, they played it. I heard they played it.
No, but it was
like
too late.
8:30.
Like they couldn't play it after a certain time.
So
isn't that like the Fenway concert restrictions? Is they can't play certain things at certain times?
Why were the fireworks earlier last night?
Oh, maybe the neighbors complained.
Maybe they did. All those fancy people in Cambridge and the West End and all that. So I should blame Cambridge for this.
Yes.
I mean, I'm all for it. Cambridge, what's your deal? But even if here's the thing though, Jimmy. Even if you have to move the fireworks earlier, fine. It's still dark. Let's play the 1812 Overture. Do I need Bill Biv DeVoe out there? Did you need Bill Biv DeVoe? I don't know.
Always.
You couldn't find it because you don't have Channel 7.
No, I don't, which I didn't realize until last night. I had it on the CW network.
It was on the CW?
Yeah, because I guess they have like a brand partnership.
That's still a thing?
Yeah.
Channel 56?
The only reason why I know about 56 is because they have wrestling programming on there.
They have wrestling on the CW?
Yeah,
now?
NXT every Tuesday night, 8 to 10.
How is that network still a thing?
Oh, good question.
Like you think about it, really, in the year 2025.
It's probably like a 2% of somebody else's bigger profile. It's like sometimes you have to carry the big dog. You have to carry like a bunch of like little pups to carry the big dog.
Yep.
You don't necessarily want to, but you kind of have to at times. Take like a distressed asset and put it somewhere, and you have to have it around. So maybe that's the CW network.
What a way to live. What a way to be. Really, when you think about it. So it was on the CW. You could find it on the CW, but you didn't get your 1812 Overture.
Nope.
8:30. They played it at 8:30. It's not even dark at 8:30. Because they launched the fireworks off, too, when that all happened. There's nothing more ridiculous, and I say this to everybody who's going to do this today, you idiots, launching fireworks off during the day. You want to launch them off during the night? Okay, I kind of understand that. I get that. Woo, big thing, go boom. I get it. Oh, flashing lights, sparkly. Ooh, during the day? At 8:30 at night, we're launching off fireworks? On the 4th of July, one of the longest days of the year? What, because we had to move it earlier because Channel 7's going 9 to 10 and we need to get Bill Biv DeVoe out there? All due respect to Bill Biv DeVoe. And who was the lady last night? Kyle, find out. Boy, I'm really a taskmaster with Kyle today. I'm cracking the whip. I'm sorry. I'm mad. I'm upset. That is a 4th of July tradition. Ever since I was a kid, my grandparents were like, hey, here, watch this. They're cannons. 4-year-old, you're going to like this. I'm like, ooh, cannons. Yes, it's the ooh, cannons moment. And it's a badass piece of music.
Yeah, it's a great piece of music.
Has nothing to do with us, but you know what? That's okay.
Orchestra music is great music. It's great music.
I love going to the symphony.
Yeah, Symphony Hall in Boston, like tremendous.
Let's
Christmas time music. It's all great.
You and I should go to the symphony.
The beauty. It's amazing to me that since it's July 5th, and the beautiful structures historically. Like you go into some of Boston's longest standing, and they're so beautiful. And you see new construction today, and it's like, oh, it's a square.
Don't make it like they used to, Jimmy.
No, it's like if you ever see like the 1800s houses, like they're these beautiful circular copper, like beautiful weather vanes at the top, and the inside tall ceiling, strong wood. Where's that? Where is that? Like Boston Symphony Hall is beautiful. You look up, you look around.
Tremendous.
great structure, great detail. Where is that in today's society?
I would love to see you conduct the Pops for like Christmas with the Pops.
I'm available.
I am too, although I don't think I'm going to be invited after that.
Well,
saying that Keith should be put out in front of the cannons, I think I probably just lost my chance to conduct the Pops at Christmas time.
Well, I don't know. Let's find out if it was Lockhart's decision or not. He's a friend of the station, right? He's been in here on the morning show.
Let's
find out.
Let's do some
digging.
digging.
Do I still have a number for him?
You should call him at 9:15 the day after his biggest night of the year.
I've done worse.
617-779-0985.
That's an off-air story, by the way.
Jimmy is going to try to find Keith Lockhart's number. And
call him at home?
Call him at home? Yeah, definitely. Keith, what's the deal?
What's the dilly?
Why'd you do that? Was it your choice, or was it the money people above you? I feel like Keith has a lot of influence.
Kyle, I'm going to text you his home number. We'll give him a call in a second.
I don't think we should do that.
It's 2-1. Kyle, you're the deciding vote. Do you want to call him at home or no?
Wait till like
that's
11,
a no.
Like 11:30.
No.
Okay. Let's let the man sleep in.
No,
before we call him.
He ruined your night. He needs to be held accountable. That's fair, right?
I'm a nice enough person that I'll let the man sleep for a couple more hours before I call and ruin his day for me ruining his night. I'm courteous.
Nice
I'm courteous like that, Stu.
I'm not.
We continue. It's the Jimmy Stewart program.
Speaking of fireworks.
617-779-0985. We're here until 1 o'clock. We got so much to get to today, don't we? Such as, well, we'll figure it out.
Hey, look, Matt, I got Red Sox thoughts. I got Celtics thoughts. LeBron might be traded. The Red Sox might be signing a contract extension to a player who's played like 2 months. I got yelled at by the team broadcasters yesterday. I have some questions about Jaron Duran. I have some questions about the Celtics. I can give you my top coaching candidates. I can give you my top duos. I don't want the Celtics to throw away another year. I've got Patriots questions. I've got Bruins questions. And, it's the 5th of July.
And, as we just found out, it truly is the Jimmy Stewart program. This man is prepared. He's ready to go. He's fresh. I am not after a week of mornings, and we continue. It's Jimmy Stewart, Matt McCarthy here on the Sports Hub. Where's my Overture? Keith! Channel 7! Where's my Overture?
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub. When you crack a smile, it's good. When you have a crack in your foundation, it can be wet. That's the time to whack the crack with Ramjack. Call Ramjack and they'll look at your foundation, sidewalk, patio, or concrete deck and give you a free estimate. Tell them the Sports Hub told you to whack the crack with Ramjack.
Hi, welcome to IKEA.
Hey, I'm moving into my dorm soon and I don't know where to start.
You're in the right place. IKEA family members save up to 15% off college essentials to help you feel right at home.
pitching, right? I mean, they got some good arms, but we went through a stretch there that it was tough, and you have to do everything possible to score 3 or 4 runs. Now we're getting into a stretch that, is conducive to offense, and they're doing a good job. But, we got kids learning, at this level. The at-bats of Roman have been amazing. Just keep getting on base. That last one shows you who he is, just staying humble and taking his pitches and getting on base. So we're in a good spot. We face the lefty tomorrow, see how we solve that. But offensively, we're doing a good job.
Coming off the mound, could you tell how much? Seemed like this one meant a lot to Lucas. I don't know if the culmination of the last month, but going this deep, I think it's the deepest he's gone.
No, he didn't want to come out, so I appreciate that. So it's one of those that, he's a competitor. He feels like the more pitches he throws, the better it is for him. Obviously, getting reps, but we needed Wilson to pitch today. He pitched. We needed Whitlock to pitch today. He did. So going into tomorrow, we're in a good spot.
Good vibes from the Red Sox. Bludgeoning the Nationals yesterday. You know what I loved, Jimmy? What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing because yesterday the Red Sox win 11-2, and in the 5th inning, as I'm watching it live, I'm looking at the first base coach, I'm looking at the third base coach. They're teeing off on a guy who a few years ago got Cy Young votes, and I know Michael Soroka of the Nationals was with the White Sox. He didn't win a game, but he got Cy Young votes in the Braves organization. Mm-hmm. Good pitcher. I thought he was a good pitcher. He seemed like he was pitching well, and then they get 7 off on him. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, let's see, what's the first base coach doing? Oh, am I looking at the third? Are they walking in on breaking stuff? And I want to text John Boy and be like, can you do a breakdown on this inning? Because the Red Sox look like they're cheating offensively again. That's what goes through my mind now. And by the way, as I said earlier in the week, cheat more, win more, Cora. I'm into it. Let's go. I need winning baseball games.
It's the only way Alex Cora can win.
We know this.
Fact, not opinion.
Remember, John Farrell won with an Apple Watch scandal, right?
Red Sox need to get back to stealing signs.
Yeah, and the Astros won with the buzzer gimmick on the shirt. Mm-hmm. Like Altuve's don't rip my shirt off because I've got a little buzzer gimmick.
Wearing a buzzer. Yeah.
I'm excited if the Red Sox are cheating like this and they can put up 11 runs a game, I'm in.
That's the only way this offense is going to put up 11 runs a game. Soroka sucked in the middle of that game yesterday, though. I mean, he had nothing. Now, did the Red Sox know what was coming? Maybe not. I'm not.
It's the only way they can win, Matt.
I'm not here to speculate on that. You can speculate on that all you want. Here's what I will say, though. Roman Anthony's starting to put it together at the plate.
Yes, he is.
So that I'm very excited about. That kid can mash, and he's going to be a really good hitter someday. It's not all going to come together for him this year, but he's showing you why he was the number 1 prospect in baseball. That is the positive takeaway from yesterday. There are 2 really positive takeaways that I think can continue.
Roman, by the way, is also showing you why Cora moved him up to the number 2 spot. Cora is telling you with this lineup that Roman Anthony is their best hitter at 20 years old.
He is.
Because that's where baseball now slots it, is you have your best hitter either 1 or 2 in the lineup.
He's undeniably their best hitter.
It's not even close.
It's not Jarren Duran. It's not Trevor Story, 4 for 5 yesterday. It's not Marcelo Meyer, who Cora keeps hitting farther down in the order because I think he knows he's a little limited.
I'll tell you what, though, his swing is like Will Clark. He's probably, if I'm reconstructing the Red Sox lineup, which we can do later on, I want a guy like Meyer hitting 2nd or 4th. Because if your lineup is going Duran, Anthony, Bregman,
yep,
I want Meyer hitting in that 4-5 spot.
I don't know if he's good enough. I don't.
But if he's Corey Seager, if he's J.P. Crawford,
he's Brandon Crawford.
Brandon. Well, he was batting top 5 of the lineup for the Giants for a long time.
The Giants haven't had a good hitter since Barry Bonds.
Well, they do now. They have Rafael Devers.
I don't know if you've seen Rafael Devers' stats in San Francisco. Not yet, Jimmy. Not yet. I'm not convinced Meyer is that guy.
Okay.
I've never been. I think
then that's a fail from the number 4 pick in the draft.
Agreed. Oh, no doubt about it. But I've said this for a number of years now. Meyer is going to be a solid big leaguer. But solid big leaguer isn't impact all-star player. I think he's going to be a good player. He's not going to be a great player. Roman Anthony's going to be a great
Oh, yeah. The umpire is strong. The umpire's going to be here for 6 years and then hit free agency and get a $600 million contract.
So the two major takeaways from yesterday, the really positive takeaways, is one, it's Roman Anthony. Mm-hmm. And the second one is Lucas Giolito, who has been
great,
really good. Really, really good over the last 5 starts. Jimmy, he's a pitcher. He's not a thrower. He knows how to attack guys. His stuff isn't electric. I mean, he's throwing 94. And, so as a result, he can get beat around sometimes, gives up home runs. That's his biggest problem. But that guy knows how to pitch. He is a real pleasure to watch when he is on, and he has been for the last 5 starts. You know what it makes me realize, though, Jimmy? This whole strategy that the Red Sox have of bring in, a reclamation project like Giolito, where does that eventually lead you? Because Giolito's now going to get paid this offseason.
Well, so apparently there's an option, and this is if I'm to believe Dave O'Brien and Lou Merloni on the broadcast, because I think they said this, that he's got an option for next year that's a team option if he pitches less than so many innings. If he pitches more, it's more money, but it's a mutual option. So it's $20 million, I believe.
Ooh. Interesting.
Is that right?
No, I forgot about this. So it's signed
14,
through 2025, and he has a 26-team option.
Yeah, and I believe if he pitches so many innings, it's $14 million. If he pitches more innings, it's like $20 million. So it's like, do you want Lucas Giolito back on a 1-year contract?
Yes. Yes, I do. No doubt about it. Conditional club option, let's see. 26 club option, $19 million mutual option. Club option becomes $19 million mutual option with 140 innings pitched in 2025.
Well, he's at 66 right now. So here's the question.
They're going to manage his innings down the stretch so they can get him for 2026, and that will hurt the team down the stretch.
Yep.
Woof. Woof. This team, Jimmy. This team.
It's not necessarily the team specifically, if I'm being objective about it. It's the fact that we have to worry more about the business side of sports, and this is something that just angers me so much. I can't just look at, this is a good player. This would be a good trade. I have to look at the contract first and be like, is the team going to take the contract? This goes to the Acuna Jr. stuff we were talking about on the Baseball Hour on Thursday. Now I have to look at, Giolito, if he pitches more than 140 innings, it's the team option. If he pitches less than 140 innings, it's the team option. If he pitches more, it's a mutual option, which he would opt out of unless the Red Sox are like, opt out, and then we'll give you a longer-term deal.
Right.
And that's frustrating.
Yeah, it's not about the baseball team.
It's about the business of sports. Well, that's frustrating.
They keep signing these pitchers to these shorter-term deals, and it's, we're signing reclamation projects. We're signing guys who are hurt. I mean, we're doing that thing every single year, and this has been one of their better signings in this regard, right? But the question is, what do you get out of it? Really, you're getting a good performance out of him, and he's an important part of your team, which is more than a lot of these guys have done. But now the question becomes, are you going to manage him down the stretch so you can get an extra year of him, but you're always kicking the can down the road? Or he's going to go somewhere else and you need to replace him, and they're going to replace him with somebody else on a 1 or 2 year deal, and you're just going to repeat that process over and over and over again. Does this thing ever work out for the Red Sox?
No, and this is why they might have to be more aggressive than they necessarily want to do with Alex Bregman if you want to bring him back. But if I'm Giolito, I want to pitch more than 140 innings.
Yep.
And at 30 years old, you'll get a team out there who will give you a 5-year contract.
No doubt about it.
Right? The Red Sox will not do that. Although I find it interesting, there was reporting within the last 2 weeks that Breslow wanted to give Walker Buehler a 3-year deal instead of a 1 year, and Buehler only wanted the 1 year deal.
Wanted to bet on himself.
Yeah.
That was a bad bet. I know some.
Well,
bad
so
bets.
so not necessarily Matt McCarthy, because I felt like I was being lectured to by Dave O'Brien and Lou Merloni yesterday during the game, being like, see what happens when you're patient with Trevor Story? He gives you great months. See what happens when you're patient with Lucas Giolito? He gives you... Now you got to be patient with Walker Buehler, today's starter for the Red Sox. You have to be patient. This isn't just like, oh, DFA him at this time because, he's not pitching well. You got to be patient. You got to see it through. You got to... And to a degree, I agree with that. But I also have a talk show to do today or yesterday or the day before, so that's my natural reaction.
Yeah,
If I could sit back in the ivory tower of Fenway Park and just be like, oh, we signed this guy, we can be patient because we're still making money, we're still putting people in the ballpark. Yeah, I can do that. I can be patient. They weren't patient with Tristan Campbell. How'd that work out?
Not great.
They rushed him to the big leagues.
Yep.
How'd that work out, right?
No, it couldn't be.
You're seeing that they were overly patient with Mayer and Anthony. And what if Anthony is here a month earlier? Are they in a better spot?
What if you don't blow up the Rafael Devers thing?
What if you're patient with Rafael Devers and you let it kind of figure out? Or, I don't know, communicate with him better in the offseason and say, look, we're going to sign Alex Bregman. We want to sign Alex Bregman. It's possible that you're going to rotate third, first, DH. You can talk to people. See, this is a whole nother thing, Matt, is that I feel like sports teams are so worried that their intel is going to leak out. Not from the player, but from the agent. And so they don't communicate well with the player and the agent because the agent's going to run to national media X and be like, oh, the Red Sox are doing this. The Celtics are doing this. The Bruins are doing this. The Patriots are doing this. So what happens is the team or the player doesn't treat the other side like an adult who can hold information. And that's a big problem. Communication is a problem throughout all the industries, all the sports industries.
And our business, too. The communication business. You'd be surprised.
I know.
Yeah. Communication breakdown.
I know.
617-779-0985. I just did some math, Jimmy.
That's for the off-air show another day.
No, math. Not great when I'm doing math.
McCarthy math, especially live on the air.
I was told there would be no math. I have the numbers.
Oh?
On how many starts Lucas Giolito has left and how many innings the Red Sox are going to have to hold him to.
Oh, boy.
617-779-0985. We'll get to that next on the Jimmy Stewart program here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
with a four-seamer in the president's race. I guess that was predictable, but he was getting absolutely buried. Swung on and missed by Wood. Why?
Last week of July, first week of August.
Yeah. Swing and a miss for strike three. Wave and a miss by Lowe.
Every day helps.
Huge. In there, strike three. Caught him looking. And he had that start on June 4th. Swing and a miss, strike three, back-to-back.
Sports Hub, like opening Boston Pops, talking about a 200-year-old piece of music.
Great piece of music.
Maybe the best ever. Like, if you really think about it, what other known piece of music uses cannons? Doesn't that automatically make it the best?
Yeah, I would think so. Stood the test of time. I mean, 1812. I mean, come on.
Yeah. They didn't play it last night. Oh, they did at 8:30. Worst idea since Napoleon invaded Russia during the winter. Never works out for you.
I'll call Howie Carr on that one.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sure he'll happily take your call.
I'll call him at home, too.
Call Keith. Call Howie. We're just going to piss off everybody.
That's the goal.
I mean, seriously, who is up and about on this type of morning? This is one of the ultimate recovery mornings, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
On the calendar, July 5th. People are saying traffic's going to be awful later today. I don't think it will be.
I don't know.
Tomorrow.
Especially with the 4th being a Friday.
Clutch, by the way.
3-day weekend, and
Yep.
I think for the most part, people weren't around this week.
So, the 4th of July, because it floats, it's a floating holiday,
Mm-hmm.
it's a different experience every year.
Every year.
If the 4th is on a Wednesday, I mean, it's still the 4th, but it changes the way you approach the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
If the 4th is on a Friday, I mean,
there's no reason. It's a 3-day weekend.
You're bagging out the whole week.
Yeah.
3-day weekend, and then you're using your 4 days, and there you go. You're bagging out the whole week.
100%.
Saturday? See, well, I guess you get
recovery day. Maybe you go back to the beach. Maybe you got the pool, pop one open, fire up the grill, get some ribeyes on there, get some marinated chicken.
Ooh, out.
Get some salmon.
In.
I knew I was going to needle you with the marinated chicken.
We did have marinated chicken last night, and I just had the steak tips because,
steak tips are better.
Way better.
Yeah.
That's my argument about chicken. People are like, how can you not like chicken? I'm like, well, there's something that's always going to be better than chicken.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that chicken is, if you had a choice, you would order the chicken, because you wouldn't.
Well, it depends on the flavoring of the chicken. Like if you like lemon pepper chicken or teriyaki chicken, if you get a good steak, a good ribeye, good steak tips, you don't need it.
No.
You just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pink salt, you're good to go.
Like, who legitimately, you got a steak on one side of the grill and a chicken on the other? Who's saying, yeah, give me the chicken?
People who hate red meat.
What type of but what type of person is that? What does that say about you, Jimmy?
You're a bad person.
Yes, at your core, bad person, don't trust you.
It says you're the same person who decided that the 1812 Overture wasn't good enough to close out the 4th of July in Boston.
Let's play it at 8:30 when it's still light out. When, I guess, was it even on TV?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have Channel 7.
Who do I blame for this? Mugar? Lockhart? Ed Anson?
I don't want to blame Lockhart. I don't know why. I don't think it's his decision. I think he just shows up, does his thing, and goes home.
When you really think about it, what a gig, right?
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Like that?
Yeah, but there's so much more to it with the music crescendoing. At least that's what I was told in 4th grade music class.
Yeah. We're
not just waving our arms to wave our arms. It's like, we want more from this side. We want more from this side. Oh, give me more. Oh, shut it down.
But if they let people like you, I mean, Fred Toucher he has conducted the Pops, right?
I think Felger in the Wood did one year.
So if you let
Terry Francona has done it.
If you let Mike Felger out there, Mr. Deadhead himself, go out to run the orchestra, the orchestra's running itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. It's just a matter of you manipulating a few sounds here or there, which could be fun.
I mean, I would enjoy that, but is the orchestra really listening to me? Like, if they put me up there,
they're watching,
and I'm like, I want more from the woodwinds here, and it's like I call on the woodwind. Are they really doing that, or are they just doing that to amuse me?
Oh, they're doing it to amuse you. They're like, you're our leader. Yes, sir. No, sir. Whatever you say. Oh, we still have to hold. Done.
It's all pre-organized. It's about the players. It's about the players. It's not about the leader, which I would say applies to an orchestra, but not the Boston Red Sox.
And maybe it applies to Lucas Giolito as I try to get you back on track to pay off the tease.
I don't want to be on track today, Jimmy. I don't. Are you struggling today?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely struggling.
I'm dead.
And what actually helping me through this struggle is the fact that you were, as I'm driving in here, I put on the traffic report, and I hear, down by Sharon, 128, 495, that whole block, closed down. And I go, oh, that's Matt McCarthy country. I better be ready to go in case I need to lead this show. So the traffic helped me. I know it didn't help you, but you got to figure it out.
95 shut down in Sharon this morning. I typically, like a responsible person, check the traffic before I leave to come here so I know how much time, I have never, Jimmy, I have never been late. Not once. I've never been late. Closest I got was Joe Murray did a headline for me a couple Sundays ago. I got held up at a drive-thru, and I was like, I'll be there and I walked right in as Joe Murray was starting the headline. So I was not, that's as close as I've come. I didn't check it this morning because it's the 5th of July. There's going to be nobody out there. Not a problem. I just so happened to put on WBZ. Driving in, Kendra went to commercial break. I put on WBZ. Traffic on the 3. I'm going into getting on the on-ramp there and 95 shut down. Back roads all the way up. Made it.
I almost called you at 7 a.m. and be like, Matt, you better leave now.
I wish you had.
I didn't. I don't know your schedule. I don't want to be the person who wakes you up. I don't want to be that person.
Oh, but you're willing to wake up Keith Lockhart to demand.
I don't know him as well.
Okay, but you respect
and also I'm
me.
angry at him. I do respect you.
Yeah, but you're angry at Keith.
Yes,
we all should be angry.
We should be. But I don't know if I blame him directly or if I blame some superior of his or somebody who claims to be a superior of his. Because it's really the Lockhart experience.
He's been doing that a long time, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
30 years?
Oh, yeah, he's great.
Well, the best.
Have you ever been to one of the Red Sox championship ceremonies where he's played?
No.
Oh, spectacular.
Where he's played?
Oh, yeah.
Where
played.
his people.
I think it was the 07 one where he played. It was either 04 or 07.
I'm not trying to crap all over Keith here, but he's not the one playing, Jimmy. He's conducting.
He's conducting, yeah.
He has his people playing.
He's conducting, but he's putting it together. See, it's different than when you have the celebrity host, because they probably do actually work for Lockhart at this point. But if it's you going up there, they already know what they're going to do. They're just kind of again, placating to you and what your needs are for that moment.
That'd be a cool experience. It's like having them be like, yes. I'm like, yeah, I can lead you. More brass, more. I want to hear bring in the cannons for Jingle Bells. Mike in Worcester. Mike.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
What's up?
Mediocre.
I just wanted to touch base about Anthony. There's a couple of things that are going to come out further, too. It's the, playing down in the minors. He's had the automated ball strike zone for a couple of years, and the big leagues haven't caught up to it. So it's definitely having an effect on there. And then also playing out of position. He really should be in left. And I think the Sox kind of screwed their chance to get rid of Duran selling high last year. When those two things kind of settle in, I think it's going to really take off even more.
He is a left fielder.
He's actually a DH who can kind of play left field. That's kind of how I feel.
He's not great in the field, man. He's not great in the field. And they're not helping him by putting him in right field.
No, they're not. But the metrics tell us what, Matt? That he is one of the best. He's a 5-star outfielder. Is that what you told me on the baseball hour? He made a 5-star catch the other night. His range is really what makes him a good outfielder. The fact that he can get to balls, not necessarily catch them.
The metrics say Roman Anthony is 10% above average in right field.
I don't see it. Unless the rest of baseball is just horribly below average in the outfield.
So outs above average, here are the nerd stats on Roman Anthony. Outs above average, 2, which is above average. Expected catch percentage.
Oh, I hate this.
84%. But you know what his actual catch percentage is? 94%.
Oh.
Hence, his catch percentage added 10%. So he is 10% above average.
How many catches?
Oh, it doesn't say that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. You can shove these numbers
hang
up.
on, because I have Baseball Reference in front of me. I can tell you how many putouts he has. Nope, he's not on that page. He's not on that page. He's listed as a right fielder on baseball. He's listed as a right fielder and DH on Baseball Reference.
Oh, because he's never played left field at Fenway Park, so why would they list him that way?
He has 21 chances, 20 putouts, and 1 error as a right fielder in the major leagues.
Only 1 error, huh? How many misplays have you seen Roman Anthony make?
Probably 4.
Yeah, more than 1.
Realistically, 4. I mean, Duran's got 6, I think. And by the way, to Mike and Worcester, the caller's point, I don't know that Duran's here July 2nd.
Yeah, August 2nd?
August 2nd.
I was going to say he's very much here on July 2nd. It's July 5th. That's the kind of morning Jimmy and I are having. Jimmy, spent all week, placating Mike Felger, like the Boston Pops placate.
I've been doing that since March of 2011.
I spent my week waking up at the ass crack of dawn, hanging out with Joe Murray. We're tired. Jimmy's here. I'm here. You're here. 617-779-0985.
Way to raise the energy level, man.
I have. Oh, you want energy, Jimmy? Do you want energy? I have math. Look at that math. What does my phone say right now?
5.714285571. It looks like it's 80 divided by 14.
I will explain what that means next.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 Us.
Stu?
I like program or experience. It is an experience being here with you.
Oh, I'm a unique experience, that's for sure.
The Jimmy Stewart experience, the J Stu experience.
And if it
like
is
the
the
Jimi Hendrix
experience,
experience.
that's exactly where I was going. We got to play more Hendrix then.
All for it.
Right? We got to play more Hendrix.
So I bought a guitar this week.
Yeah? How you playing?
Not great.
No.
But better than I ever have. So you got, on my amp, I have like a Hendrix tone.
Sure.
Oh, man.
Is that the whammy bar? Is that what they call it?
So I have on my other guitar, I have a Gretsch guitar. I have a Bigsby, where you can, a whammy.
Is that what it's called, though?
Yeah. Yeah, a whammy or a tremolo, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, I just call it like...
Because there's
my
enough
whammy
times
bar,
where
my
between
wah-wah.
Jim Murray and I, we've told enough people to go to Guitar Center to get a podcast set up, but I've never actually explored the actual guitars in Guitar Center.
So here's what happened. Alex Barth is learning how to play guitar.
Oh!
I'm kind of teaching Alex Barth how to play guitar.
Okay.
So he bought a $25 guitar on Amazon. And
feels like a mistake.
Just to get started.
Okay.
And this thing, when I tell you, it is a piece of crap. It's an unbelievable piece of crap. But he's been playing it just enough to say, yes, I'm serious about this. I want to, really pick up guitar and learn. He's, learning the basic chords, and he's having a blast with it. So, and his neighbor's been yelling at him for playing at all hours of the night because it's a $25 acoustic guitar from Amazon. I guess the neighbor's been banging on the, shut the hell up!
All right, real question here. So, if you're serious about doing guitar work, I know Alex Barth is a video gamer. Mm-hmm. I'm a video gamer. I actually have it therapeutically prescribed for me.
I love that.
Yeah, it's
good
great.
for you.
Wouldn't Barth be best starting with something like Guitar Hero?
Guitar Hero does not lend to actual guitar.
Okay.
It does not.
Okay. That's a real question.
Or I'm just saying that because I could not play Guitar Hero as a teenager.
Okay.
I was not very good at it. Although my friends who did play guitar at the time were good at Guitar Hero, but they were just coordinated. And they were just good at everything. And it was annoying. Like my brother, who's an excellent drummer, an excellent guitar player, and was elite at Guitar Hero. Because he could just do everything.
Sure.
Because that was him.
Is this the same brother that failed? He didn't finish first in his class. He finished second in his class?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
No, he was not the valedictorian of his law school. He finished second in his class. So he is not. He is the first runner-up, the first loser of law school. 2025, he is really kind of like the 2007 New England Patriots. Or as you pointed out, Jimmy, the 1975 Red Sox team that did not win and lost. That is my brother. Congratulations to 2025 law school champion Christina Rex of WBZ News, who actually won the thing, unlike Eric. So why don't you suck on that? But yes, that's him. So I went into Guitar Center this week with Alex Barth because, he's like, all right, I need to go get a real guitar type of thing. I said, I got you. I'll go in there. And yes, I've been into Guitar Center because, Jimmy, you have told me to get my own podcast and do my own thing that nobody will listen to. I have, of course, done that. I know my way around Guitar Center. I also play a little bit of guitar and bass. And I can hold my own. So I'm, helping Barth pick out his guitar. And there you go. I'm like, hey, this one, for a starter guitar, it has a really nice sound, really nice action, really nice feel to it. And, he's playing this thing. It's like, yeah, I like it. And out of the corner of my eye, Jimmy, I saw it. It was there in the used section. A Fender Telecaster Butterscotch Blonde. Bruce Springsteen's guitar.
Oh!
I said, well, I got to go over and try this. Now, I had tried it before. I had tried a new one. I bought a guitar 6 months ago. And I found this great Gretsch with the whammy and everything. And it's got this great kind of classic, clean sound to it. But one of the first guitars I had tried in shopping from guitar was this Butterscotch Blonde Telly. And it didn't speak to me. I didn't like it. I was like, well, to each their own. This is Springsteen's guitar, but it's not my guitar. But I see this thing out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, and Barth says, what's the difference between a higher class guitar and a starter class guitar?
Good question.
Great question. What's the sound like? What should I know about this? And I said, well, I'm not probably really the person to answer that, but here, let me go, grab this thing because I know this is, a kind of a medium class. It's not a professional class guitar, but it's a medium class guitar. The thing probably retails for $900. So I said, well, why don't I, go over here and I'll just kind of show you the sound difference. Jimmy, I played Johnny Be Good and I walked right up and bought the thing. Oh, it was so good. So good. I didn't pick the guitar, Jimmy.
The guitar picked you.
The guitar chose me. That's what I've been doing with my week, just after I've been done with Toucher and Hardy in the morning, just going home and just playing my guitar on Hendrix mode. So we've got the Jimmy Stewart experience, got the Jimi Hendrix experience in my basement right now, trying to figure out how to play All Along the Watchtower.
So is this the start? You and Barth are going to start the Sports Hub band because Murray plays, right?
Yes, Murray plays, and I think he plays pretty well.
Okay, so who else can we get? Who else can we recruit for the Sports Hub band?
It's a good question. Joe Murray claims to play basically everything. Says he can play guitar, he drums, sings. So Joe Murray definitely has to be in any band. I think he's our singer.
Okay.
Jim's our guitarist.
Okay.
I'm the bassist.
Okay.
Bass is actually my real instrument.
Sure.
I've picked up guitar in recent years, but bass is I can actually kind of play that. So we need a drummer. You want to drum for us?
I don't know that I've ever picked up a drumstick before. And that's not out of the frozen food section because I've definitely done that a bunch of times.
Just take out your anger on the drum set.
Oh, I can do that.
Just bang the hell out of that thing.
I have so much anger. I can do that.
Just think of Mike Felger making you get some piece of audio.
Mike's fine.
Just think about that and then just bang on a tom. Jimmy Stewart, drummer.
Yeah. Wouldn't have drafted it that way, but that's okay. You know what Jimmy Stewart has coming up next?
What?
The update.
How about that? Jimmy, it's time. Jimmy's doing everything he can to keep me on track today. He's very professional. We have phone calls. I also have
we do.
My math that I've been teasing for the last 30 minutes, Jimmy. It's very exciting. My math. No commercials, just the headlines. Who the hell knows what we'll do next? But Jimmy's going to try and keep me on track today, which is good. Quick update from Jimmy Stewart here on the Jimmy Stewart Experience, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Telfair Tire Studios, it's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Boston Red Sox, my Boston Red Sox, have won 4 of their last 6 games after defeating the Nationals 11-2 in Washington yesterday. Lucas Giolito, 1 run, 7 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. Trevor Story hit a 2-run homer. Roman Anthony reached base 5 times yesterday. Red Sox and Nationals will play their second game of their 3-game series today at 4:05. Walker Buehler goes for the Red Sox. Lefty Mitchell Parker goes for the Nationals. We are awaiting a starting lineup that I assume will have Romy Gonzalez and Rob Refschneider, who will be looking at the first base coach to see what pitch is coming next. Joey Chestnut won the annual hot dog eating contest by consuming 70.5 hot dogs in 10 minutes. That is disgusting. It was his 17th win in 20 appearances at the hot dog eating contest. I am out on hot dogs. And finally, the New England Revolution are in action tonight in Portland. 10:30 start, and you can catch that match, right? It's a match, not a game?
It's a match, correct.
It's a match. You can catch the New England Revolution match in Portland tonight, right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. These headlines are brought to you by John Sewer and Sewer's and Drain Cleaning. 24 on-call, 24-hour. This is where I call
the name to know when the drains don't flow. John Sewer, we get the job done. Bum, bum, bum.
And it's brought to you by John Sewer's Drain and Cleaning. 24-hour on-call service for your clogged drain emergencies. Go to johnsewers.com for all of your drain emergencies. I'm James Stewart. We are back on Boston's Home for Sports in about an hour. About 11 o'clock is your next update.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub. this town, sports happens 24/7. We're Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
40 minutes ago, tremendous.
Correct. Yes. No, I'm on my A game today, Stu. This is a real Marconi award-winning performance from me.
I've got one of those.
I know you do. I have held a Marconi. I have presented it as my own. Somebody went into Rick's office and took it out of Rick's office. I won't say who, and they handed it to me, and they're like, "Here, take a picture with the Marconi." There you go. Look at what I did. I have all kinds of people congratulating me on social media. I'm like, you know what? Thanks.
I have a bunch of crystals that have my name on it. It's pretty fun.
I did it. So, Lucas Giolito, if he gets to 140 innings pitched, the club option becomes a mutual option, which he will then not take because he'll then go back out to free agency and make way more money.
Because $19 million for the mutual option. I believe the qualifying offers on starters are $22 million.
Yeah. So it's a bad deal for him. If he pitches under 140 innings, the Red Sox get to keep him.
For $14 million.
I guarantee you they will manipulate that.
Of course they will.
Lucas Giolito, so there are 89 games left. No, the Red Sox have played 89 games. Uh-oh, Jimmy.
Uh-oh.
I did the math wrong.
Oh, no.
I'm now realizing my calculation is off. I will work on that during the break. This is now the second time during a break I've had to redo my calculations. So definitely trust me when I eventually give you the numbers, okay? 617-779-0985.
I have a Celtics take for you when you're ready for it, because I just saw something on my Twitter line.
I would like to go to the people and be good to them, but we will get to your Celtics take.
I'm going to write this down so I remember it.
Thank you. Jay in Salem. Jay.
Hi, Jay.
Jay.
Hey, guys. Morning. So you said something that I've brought up every year. So it's 1 point with 2 points of view. So I make the argument for the Hall of Fame when people say it's getting watered down. I always say it's the current players versus their contemporaries, because you're never going to have another Ted Williams. You're never going to have another Pedro. So when you say either Jaron Duran or Roman Anthony are 10% better, and you roll your eyes and say, yeah, versus the field. So the question becomes, when do you start judging people versus what you know is good and what the other players do? And I keep getting flack because I say Crochet isn't an ace based off of my interpretation of an ace being a generational pitcher versus the guy's a true number one. But am I saying that this guy is an ace? And I say no. Ace is someone that is going to save the bullpen. He's been doing phenomenal. 8 innings is really, really, really good. But 8 innings and 110 pitches, to me, that's not ace.
Well, you're not going to get that anymore. So if we're talking about not comparing players across eras, Garrett Crochet, compared to his contemporaries, is undeniably an ace.
Mm-hmm.
He is not Roger Clemens or Nolan Ryan. He is not...
He's not throwing 150 pitches for a complete game victory.
Nobody does that anymore.
He's not striking out 20 because he won't be there at the end to see the 20th strikeout.
In regard, you see Worcester struck out 18 times the other day?
I did see that.
That's never good against AAA pitching.
Isn't that Driveline?
Thank you, Kyle Bodie, and whatever your name is. I'm sure he's listening right now.
Or he's responding to tweets. He's an angry tweeter.
No, I've been known to respond to tweets, Jimmy.
Same.
I enjoy it. Getting in the mud. I wonder if Keith Lockhart's going to tweet me. At Andrew in Boston. Andrew!
What up, Andrew?
Andrew!
Hey. We got a hot take here about your 1812 Overture.
Yep.
You said it's the number one song with cannon fire included. And as a guitar specialist yourself, I think you're completely missing AC/DC We Salute You, which has cannon fire involved. Now, this is probably where I lose all my credibility. Cannon fire adjacent is Queen the Hero from Flash. I think that's also topping 1812. So I think the rankings go AC/DC We Salute You, Queen the Hero, then 1812 Overture. I get it, but it's not number one.
Okay, Andrew, I respect the take. Thank you for, he's clearly given this a lot of thought to songs with cannons. I would just take the 1812 Overture over We Salute You, and who doesn't like We Salute You? I don't think AC/DC played that. No, I think they closed with it. Yeah, they closed with it in Foxborough, and I was long gone by then. Not great, Jimmy. Not a great performance.
It's okay. It happens.
They're past their prime, shall we say.
It happens.
Happens to the best of us.
I've been past my prime for years, so.
You're not, but Jimmy, the performance you're giving today is not the performance that AC/DC gave in Foxborough.
I would say
that was a rough take.
It's probably 10% better because of the field that I'm playing against.
Right. We're comparing AC/DC to what Springsteen's doing at the same age, and it's like, well, that's not really a fair fight. We're comparing you to, well, whatever's going on there.
But that previous caller before the music take, of course we compare players now to what we grew up with. That's natural. Like there's a theory that I have that the 10 best, the first like 5 to 10 years where you're really invested in a sport like baseball or basketball or whatever it is, are your favorite 10 years or 5 years or whatever, because it's when you're first introducing, you're all in on learning about it. And then from there, it kind of might go up and down. It might peak. You might get out of it for a while, and then you'll eventually go back to it at some point if something sparks a reinterest. And then you're comparing it to, like, I could talk your face off about the 91 Red Sox, because that was my first year of really being into baseball. My first memory was Roger Clemens getting tossed out against the Oakland A's in 1990 in the playoff game. And then I was like, oh, this baseball thing. Billy Hatcher wins the MVP. And then I watched for the 91 season. I get my heart ripped out by Roberto Kelly hitting Jeff Reardon out of the ballpark on a game Kevin Morton started, and I could retell that game to the boring. It was September 22nd of 1991, I think it was.
We found out this week, though, there is still an audience for old-time baseball.
There is.
We did a lot of 1975 talk, which offended Mike Felger to his core, because we talked about the importance of the 75 Red Sox and the importance of the 67 Red Sox.
So the 91 Red Sox were important to me because that was my first real year, like, diving into that baseball team. And here comes Phil Plantier, here comes Mo Vaughn, here comes all these young kids for when Mike Greenwell retires and Wade Boggs leaves, and Kevin Morton's going to be the next great left-handed pitcher, and Joe Hesketh comes out of nowhere. And I hope Jeff Gray gets better because he just had a stroke. And, Jeff Reardon is a heart attack closer, and he sucks as a closer, but it's the best we got. And he's the all-time saves leader, so he must be really good. But that's my wheelhouse. So, like, a lot of things that I compare to are baseball 90 to through the Pedro era. So mine was probably a little bit longer. And then I had a rekindled interest because I was covering the team to a degree, producing games there, engineering on site. And, my baseball fandom goes back till then. So when I think of Gold Glove outfielders, I think Ken Griffey Jr.
Yep.
I think of specialty players like Otis Nixon. Excellent glove in the outfield, could bunt for a base hit, speed guy, 50 steals. Like, those are my reference points.
And I will never take that away from you. I won't come in here and tell you that it's not important or it didn't matter, like some people on these airwaves this week. Joe Murray, Mike Felger, telling you, the young people in 67 or the young people in 75, that your experience didn't matter.
But I don't celebrate the 91. I don't celebrate the 91 Red Sox.
You just spent 4 minutes talking to me about Phil Plantier and Kevin Morton, and you're telling me you don't celebrate the 1991 Red Sox?
I don't write stories on them.
Well, you should.
I don't write stories on the fact that they blew a game. Roberto Kelly hits a home run that still hasn't landed yet off Jeff Reardon to tie the game because the stupid Red Sox went to Matt Young in extra innings and he gave it up real quick in that one.
You should write a story. You're very passionate about it. You just spent 4 minutes in here taking your pants off and pleasuring yourself to this game in September of 1991.
September 22nd, I think.
September 22nd, 1991, when I was 5 months old, Jimmy. But, there you go.
But it wasn't a World Series game where I'm writing about it. And it wasn't a World Series game where I had a 3-0 lead in Game 7 to blow it in the ninth inning.
You're such a prick.
I am. That's why people hate me.
Such a prick. Hey, speaking of pricks, how about Oasis last night? They got together, John and Gloucester. John.
Oh.
Yeah, you're burying the lead here. Giant night in music.
Yep.
The 1812 thing is obviously a great live piece, but Oasis, absolutely crazy. I know you're into the genre. I want to hear your take on Noel and Liam getting back together in London. And, my whole feed yesterday was just fireworks and Oasis.
I'm all about it, man. I'm all about it. That's a great band.
I'm glad they got back together.
Me too.
I know people, Bob Fox, who works at Barstool, does mostly MMA and wrestling coverage. He made the trip over, I think.
They come in here?
That's
No?
a Google search away.
But they might. I think they're kind of doing listen, I don't follow the day-to-day of Oasis, but I'm telling you, if they came to Foxborough, I would pull every string I have, which are none. But Alex Barth, that would be me calling Alex Barth and be like, work every connection you have to get us into Oasis. Please, I beg of you. You want to talk about somebody sneaky connected? Alex Barth. That kid has juice. Holy crap.
It looks like MetLife Stadium has them for Sunday, August 31st and September 1st. Chicago has them August 28th. The Rose Bowl, that's a little bit further out there.
So they're doing East, Central, West.
They have a bunch of Wembley Stadium shows.
Yep. I hope it works for them, because I would love to see
more
them.
events. They're doing Rogers. They're doing Sky Dome in Toronto.
Might be worth a trip. It's not that far.
Could probably get the hotel. They still have the hotels in Toronto where you open it up and you got a baseball game behind you.
Yeah, they sure do. 617-779-0985.
I think your best opportunity at this is MetLife Stadium Labor Day weekend.
Think about this, Jimmy. What's the farthest you would go to see your favorite band or favorite act or favorite thing? We'll get into that on the other side. Matt McCarthy, Jimmy Stewart. He's got a Celtics take that he wrote down that I'm going to forget about, so keep reminding me. And we continue. I see you on the line. It's the Jimmy Stewart experience here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports.
swing a one-off. It's kind of their final performance, but I don't know if people are really clamoring.
No, I don't think so either.
They
might be playing VFW soon.
Yeah. They've got some health issues going on. It's like it's not going to be the same. Whereas Oasis, those guys are still young enough that they can go out there and represent themselves.
But they can also, because there's an audience for it, they can go out and sell out Wembley Stadium.
Yeah,
or the Giant Stadium,
banging it out.
Yeah.
What do you think tickets are at Giant Stadium?
Well, right now I went to Ticketmaster.com and they were sold out. So my next move was going to be one of the secondary sites that does not advertise here. So let's see. Let's do, as we're both doing this in real time.
$394, including fees for Section 320.
Okay, so here would be my follow-up question to this, Matt, is
you get Section 142 for $6,476 each.
So is that out of your price range?
Probably, yes. Not for Springsteen, but for Oasis. Yep.
Okay. Because I'm a seat snob. I'm admittedly a seat snob, right? There's reasons for this, right? But it goes to, you asked before the break about where's the furthest you would travel for an event and what event that would be. What's the highest ticket price that you're willing to pay for a group that you have to see, you want to see?
I paid $400 to see Brady return.
Okay.
So that's kind of everything I judge it by.
$400 per ticket? Was
per
it just,
ticket.
You're in the last row of the building?
In the building.
Just want to be in the building?
Just
okay.
wanted to be in the building for that. And honestly, for football, being in the 300s is not a bad experience.
Sure.
I think there are other things where 300s... seat snob.
That's actually not true. I've sat in like the lower three rows of the 300, and it's a great view.
Yeah. You get to see the play develop like closer up, and then you've got the TV camera in your way, and
hockey on the 9th floor at the Garden is fun.
It is, yes. That's a sport where being far away isn't as much of a problem. I want to be closer with baseball. I want to be closer with basketball, football, and hockey, because you're watching a play develop. It's the all 22 view, right? That's not a problem. I've got no issues with that. So I don't know. I paid $400 for Brady. I would go. I mean, if somebody was like Springsteen's playing a 500-seat theater, I'd drop four figures on that easily. No doubt about it.
But $400 to see Brady in the building is the highest you've ever paid for a ticket?
Yeah, because I'm a cheap prick and I generally don't pay for anything.
But if you could see, like, your dream spot of seeing Springsteen would be where?
I mean, in a tiny club somewhere.
Okay.
Where it's just him.
Have you ever
his
seen
guitar.
Springsteen at Madison Square Garden?
I have not, but I've seen him on Broadway.
Okay.
So I saw him in a 900-seat theater, and that was unbelievable.
And that was less than $400?
I got in face value, I think, $80.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Something like that. I mean, most of the tickets were $800 or something like that, but they had a section. It was up top, but I mean, who cares if you're up top? It's an 800-seat theater.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
and it's a theater, so I imagine the acoustics are just so much better.
The guy barely used the microphone. Just
Tremendous.
walked away and just projected and talked to the crowd.
Oh, that's lovely.
Oh, that was an all-timer. So what would I pay? I mean, I would go into four figures for something rare.
Sure.
Of course.
Springsteen, one time only at the Sphere in Vegas.
Yes. In. I'd pay five figures for that. Yep. I'd do that. What's the farthest you'd travel, though?
So Wembley Stadium or the Tokyo Dome. And those are both specifically for wrestling-related events. I'd love to go see Japan and see what's going on over there. I actually, and I don't regret doing this, but when the Red Sox played their opening day in 2008, there was a chance for me to go to Tokyo and see the Red Sox play the A's, I think it was.
Yeah, it was the A's.
And I turned it down. I had something else going on that I couldn't. So when the players are having their protest, I'm on the flight back to Boston instead of waiting out with the rest of the team in the game going to Tokyo.
What were they protesting over again?
The clubhouse kids and some of the uniformed personnel that weren't players weren't getting paid for the trip or weren't getting as much money for the trip.
Good for them.
And
good for the Red Sox.
Red Sox players and Tito, they all stood up and were like, "Nope, we're not starting the spring training game, and we're not getting on your plane until there's a better distribution of funds to the clubhouse guys, some of the minor league players who have the uniform personnel who weren't getting paid or were getting paid very minimally.
Good for them.
I agree. It was a great moment.
And Major League Baseball had but no choice to do it.
Well, so it was Lucchino who had to redistribute funds to make sure that there was balanced compensation or fair compensation.
Because they had promised Major League Baseball and everything. So, you know what? It was one of the better moments the Red Sox had.
Absolutely.
Led by Tito.
Terry Francona. Yep.
Leadership matters.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. 617-779-0985. To you. What do we want, Jimmy? We want sports. We want non-sports. We got full phone lines.
Oh, wow.
Yes. You pick what you want.
Let's do the music callers, and we'll do sports on the other side.
All right. How about Brian in Norwood? Brian.
Oh, Brian. Roll up your window.
Hey, guys.
Good, you?
I'm good, thanks. Happy 4th of July weekend. I'll be brief. Getting back to your guitar stuff, Little Wing by Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix is probably the smoothest guitar song I've ever heard.
It's great.
Number 2, 1995, this Norwood kid is at college at George Mason University, and Oasis comes and plays at our stadium, and I got to go in for $17.50 on my student pass, and I was about 20 feet from the stage. And number 3, when I was 12 years old, my dad and my uncle took me to my first Bruce Springsteen concert. We've gone to a million ever since, all over the place. So I just wanted to share my love and appreciation of the music.
You know what, Brian? Thank you. Good story. And your dad and you have good taste in music. I will give you that. What do you want to...
Let's do one more music call quick, and then we'll reset. I'll give you my Celtics take and some baseball stuff.
Ollie!
What's going on, boys? Jimmy Stewart, long time no speak, my good brother.
I know it's been.
All right, I'm gonna go right down in the Eastern Seaboard with my history of concerts. Other than going to shows around here in New Hampshire. Well, first I went to see the Allman Brothers Band and the Black Crowes down at the Beacon Theater on separate dates, separate occasions. Then I went down to Norfolk, Virginia, to see the Allman Brothers.
Paulie, I got to let you go on that. It's Norfolk. It's not Norfolk.
I was going to answer his question, too. It's been 15 years since I screened calls at my other outlet and talked to Paulie.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry to let him go on that.
He didn't care about my answering my question.
I was very sorry to let him go on that, but that's one thing Paulie actually he kind of hit the third rail, and he didn't know he hit the McCarthy third rail.
Norfolk?
Well, anybody who says Norfolk, you can shove it up your Norfolking ass. It's Norfolk. It's not Norfolk. There's no R. Jimmy, is it Suffolk or is it Suffolk?
It's obviously Suffolk. Is this like Worcester?
Yeah, this is...
Even though it's not actually...
The folks from Norfolk who are like, oh yeah, I'm from Norfolk. It's like, what are you talking about? Where is the second R? Where is it? Explain this to me.
It's in South Boston.
No, it's an L. No, we turn O's into A's and A's into O's. We don't turn L's into O's. We don't do that. Norfolk, Paulie. You live in Norfolk County. I know you live in Norfolk County. You should know this. It's not Norfolk. The hell's wrong with you? I know you frequent establishments in the greater Norfolk area. It's not Norfolk. It's Norfolk.
Norfolk.
There's no ah in there. It's a K. It's a hard K. You hit him with the hard K, Jimmy. The Norfolk.
Is that a swing and miss K or a backwards K?
It's a swing and miss frontwards hard K. Norfolk. 617-779-09.
I'm good, Paulie. How are you?
We continue. Anything you want. Couldn't you tell?
Oh, I have a Celtics take. We have Red Sox stuff.
We have
callers. Happy 5th of July to you.
Yeah. Unless you're from Norfolk. We continue with the Jimmy Stewart experience here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.
450,000 tickets in 16 minutes for the last show. So that's fair. I wouldn't have called myself a moon. I would have called myself a moron.
Yeah, he's forgetting
for the
R.
take. But, I appreciate the fact that you think I'm a moon.
See, they actually took the R from moron and applied it to Norfolk. That's where it went. We finally, Stu, we finally figured it out. Yeah, but it's a charity thing. Like if Black Sabbath went on tour at their advanced age, I don't know if they would do what Oasis is doing right now. That being said, I mean, AC/DC banged out Gillette, and I'm sorry if you paid money for that. That was rough.
Is that the worst concert you've ever been to?
It was right up there. Yeah, they were. It was a great time. It was a great experience, but because being a Jimmy Stewart seat snob, I had great seats. I did not pay for them. I hung out with Zoe and Beetle and Caleb Porter.
Oh, that's a good time though.
We had ourselves a hell of a time.
That's a good, especially you're a soccer guy.
Yes, yeah, no, just hanging out with the Revs guys. That was great. We enjoyed the suite. It was awesome. And Zoe is a great guy to go to a concert with.
Absolutely,
especially a concert like AC/DC. Oh yeah, I know this. Second song, first song, you're like, oh, not bad. Second song, Beetle turns to me and Jimmy. He gave me that look, which is only effective on YouTube right now, but could you describe the look for the people out there in Radio Land? It was like,
oh, this ain't great.
Oh, it's like,
this is going sideways real quick.
The best way to describe, when Carl Lewis says, stay with me now when he's singing the national anthem?
Yep.
Brian Johnson should have done a little stay with me now during Back in Black. And that was the second song. You're like, we are not in for... We're not in for a good night.
No, not great. Great, Matt.
Which is how I feel when the Red Sox send Walker Buehler to the mound. Justin,
be patient.
Justin.
Matt, for a second, I just want to talk to you. What is this guy still doing here? This guy should be gone. I don't want him on the team. Last time I only gave up 5 runs in the first. What are they doing, Matt?
Justin, it's the question that I always ask.
I have an
with the
answer
Red Sox.
for you.
What are they doing? What's the answer?
Because I was lectured to from Lou Merlone and Dave O'Brien about this yesterday during the Red Sox broadcast on this.
Now, what did Lou Merlone have to say?
I can't repeat the text you sent me about that. It just popped in my head. Alex Cora through Dave O'Brien.
It was a graphic text, Jimmy. It was graphic. I thought appropriate.
You're not
to
wrong.
Describe their relationship.
You're not wrong.
Do you need a minute? I do wish we could say it on the air, but we can't. I would lose my job. That would be it. Yep.
So Dave O'Brien and Lou Merlone were lecturing the audience about patience, and you have to be patient with players. So it was in the context of look at what Trevor Story is doing and look at what Lucas Giolito is doing. And they transferred it to Walker Buehler and how we have to be patient because the Red Sox think he's throwing well, other than the walks, but they think he's throwing the baseball well, and that will project his expected output is such that you're going to see results like with Trevor Story and Lucas Giolito. So Walker Buehler's here, and there was a report that Breslow wanted to sign him to a 3-year deal, not a 1-year deal. So Walker Buehler's not going to get DFA'd, even though, as Dakota from Braintree has told me, this Harrison kid that they got from the Giants,
right?
He is now eligible under the service time regulations to be called up and make starts and appearances for the Boston Red Sox.
Is Buehler pitching for his job?
No.
Today?
Nope. You know why? Because he's a veteran that they have to be patient with.
Well, I mean, the 6.45 ERA, nothing says let's just wait it out than that.
Well, I know.
But, I mean, you heard that, right? You were told that yesterday.
Yeah, I was lectured on it. I was lectured that we have to be patient. All this stuff doesn't happen overnight. I mean, if we had given up on Lucas Giolito, his ERA peaked at 7 after his 4th start. And then he gave up another 7 runs on his 7th start. So, I have to be patient. That's the lesson here, is that I can't give a take today. Mm-hmm. I have to be the overlord, and I have to be patient.
Well, I mean, the Red Sox are very good with patience, right? I mean, they waited until the trading deadline to get the most out of Rafael. Oh, wait, they didn't.
And they were patient because the ownership of the Giants called the ownership of the Red Sox and said, "Hey, your GM is asking for too much for Rafael Devers, so we'll take the contract, but he has to ask for less players." Right?
Patience, young Padawan.
You just have to be patient, and you'll get more out of. Oh wait, they didn't get more because the Giants wanted the players, but didn't want to pay the player cost. So now you've got Kyle Harrison,
convenient,
right? And you've got another DH prospect who was the pick before Brandon Montgomery, who went to the White Sox in the crochet
Tibbs.
deal.
Mr. Tibbs. Anthony in Waltham. Anthony!
Hey, Anthony, be patient.
Oh no, I know, but Peyton Tolle is their best pitching prospect. I don't care what anyone says.
Yep.
His fastball is so good. You can't screw this guy up. This is a special pitcher. I'm telling you. You can thank me later.
Okay.
All right.
He waited 30 minutes to tell us about Peyton Tolle.
So he was patient.
He was.
That's
so
the
you know
theme
what?
right now of this segment, patience.
Good for Anthony. I do wonder if the Red Sox pitching development is better. It's hard to get much worse than it was under Chaim Bloom because Chaim Bloom didn't believe in drafting and developing pitchers.
Or fundamentals, apparently, according to Zach Scott, who was in the Red Sox organization at the time.
The Zach Scott tweet is incredible from the other night after the Red Sox had that debacle against the Reds. Let's see here. Zach Scott, a Red Sox player development, and Zach Scott was the former Red Sox assistant general manager, was GM for a minute in New York, and now does some media stuff. A Red Sox PD member once told me that he knew it was time for an exit strategy when newly hired by Chaim Bloom minor league field coordinator declared in their first meeting, quote, "We no longer coach fundamentals."
That is disgusting.
It's believable. Because they don't, Jimmy. You know what really crawled up my ass yesterday?
Oh, please tell me.
The Tony Maserati Memorial ass crawling up.
Sponsorship still available.
You can definitely get that. You can any proctologist office out there. Yeah. Cedar Rafaela dropped the outs twice yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Jarren Duran's RBI single, when Rafaela was on third, he held. There were 2 outs. Crack of the bat. Did you learn that in Little League? Crack of the bat, 2 outs? You go?
I did.
Uh-huh.
I did.
Caught a fly ball with 2 outs, thought the inning was over, started to jog in. When are we going to start holding players accountable for the simplest, most stupid aspects of the game that they still can't seem to figure out?
They can't, because then you've got David Hamilton misplaying balls at not only second base, but in the outfield. You can't do it anymore.
Why couldn't you do it with Romy Gonzalez the other night when he ran into an out?
Because Cora loves him. Loves him.
Because he's a perfectly fine utility player.
Oh, Cora loves good utility players. You know why?
Because he was one.
Well, not only that, but then when the Red Sox win, you can give him the credit for it. So he wants to do this platooning stuff because then you can look to the manager or the field manager and be like, oh, look at the magic that he's working. Well, they're 44 and 45.
Managerial genius, I tell you. We continue with the genius that is James Stewart.
Boston's home for sports.
Red Sox leading it 11-1. That's the way it's been going for Trevor as of late. Red Sox already enjoying a big day. Now it's become an absolute laugher in D.C.
Well, we liked what we saw from June's Story, but July's off to a pretty good start. He had 3 hits last night, too, or the last game. 4 for 4 in this one. A little hanging breaking ball. Finish off the day.
Trevor Story is played in. Trevor Story is hitting .324 with a .918 OPS. 6 homers, 28 RBIs, 5 steals. He's 14 for 14 on stolen bases on the season. But, yeah, this is the Trevor Story that was a Colorado Rocky, and he's been doing it well for the last 30 days.
And he's not going to continue doing it well.
Oh.
Nope. He's not going to, because this is who he is, Jimmy.
But Matt, I've been patient with this player for 3 years.
Yep.
and so, like, now he's finally producing. So it's got to be all systems go for the next, how many years are left on his contract?
2.5.
2.5. So the law of averages says he's going to be a 300, 900 OPS player for the rest of his Red Sox career, right?
The law of averages says Trevor Story is doing exactly what he's done in a Red Sox uniform. Just slightly better right now because he had a red-hot June. And the law of averages suggests it will even out. Trevor Story in his Red Sox career, Jimmy, is a .239 hitter with a .694 OPS. Right now, Trevor Story is batting .252 with a .697 OPS.
Yeah, but .324 batting average since June 1st and a .900 OPS.
See, you know this, Jimmy, and I think a lot of people know this.
Is that too condescending a tone?
Very condescending. Yes, which is why I like you, is that you're a prick, and I never know what's coming next. That's why I enjoy working with you. You keep me on my toes. Trevor Story is going to turn back into Trevor Story. This is what he does. Stu, baseball is a game of consistency.
Mm-hmm.
And Trevor Story in his Red Sox career has been a guy who gets hot for a month and then sucks. He gets hot for a month and then sucks. And that doesn't make you a good baseball player. It makes you an unreliable baseball player. The best baseball players, Stu, you know this better than anybody, are the guys who you can trust and the guys who are reliable. And Trevor Story is not that. He has not been. And he will not be. So it's not a matter of being patient. Being patient for what? Waiting for him to fall back down to earth, to crash back down to earth, because this is who he is. He is a remarkably inconsistent baseball player at the plate. It's a good fielder and is good on the bases, and that is consistent about him.
I know your answer on this already. I'm going to ask you a question that I kind of know the answer to.
My answer is no.
Oh,
well,
okay
never mind.
All right,
what's
that's
your question?
surprising.
What's your question?
That's surprising that your answer is no.
What's your question?
My question is, can you find... I'm going to rephrase it so that your answer actually matches up to what the premise of my question was going to be, so that I can be right in knowing your answer.
Boy, I walked into that one, didn't I?
Yes, and now I'm manipulating the question to what I was going to ask you initially and to what I want your answer to reflect. Do you think the Red Sox can trick a team into taking Trevor Story before the trade deadline? Your answer was no.
My answer is no.
And it still stands as no.
Okay, what was the question you
The
were
question
going to
was
ask?
going to be is, do you think the Red Sox can trade Trevor Story before the deadline? Is there a team out there that's stupid enough to look at Trevor Story and be like, oh, we can add that? And the answer was no. The answer is no. But maybe there's a team out there that needs a shortstop. And if you're getting Bregman back and maybe signing him to a contract extension, that Trevor Story now becomes a tradable piece, and maybe you have to attach something else to it. But then your infield lines up as Bregman, Mayer, Hamilton, Toro. Right? Now maybe Trevor Story, if he's finding his swing, he's a good defensive guy, he's a room guy, maybe now you can swing him out of here, and now that frees up Mayer to be the full-time shortstop going forward.
There's no way they want to trade Trevor Story.
Really?
No. I'm listening to what Lou Merloni has to say about Trevor Story, and there's a big victory lap going on. Players.
But wouldn't the victory
slumping.
lap be even better if you're selling high on the player? Because you, much like the Rafael Devers contract, which you hated, the Red Sox have to hate this contract too, because it's $24 million for the next 2.5 years.
No, I think they really like the player.
I think the room likes the player.
I think the manager likes the player. I think the room likes the player. I think Trevor Story is the type of guy who there are a lot of analytics that say he's a better player than he actually is. So I don't think the front office has his contract as underwater as Rafael Devers. Let's put it that way. My guess is there are plenty of metrics with a player who's a good defender and runs the bases and hits for power, right? I mean, Story does have power, and, when he hits the ball, it goes a long way. My sense is there are metrics that show Trevor Story is not as bad a contract as you or I and many people think. That would be my guess.
I don't know. I look at a 32-year-old with $60 million left ish, and I go, "Oh, that feels like an underwater contract to me." 25 next year, 25 the year after, and a $25 million team option. So it's actually 3 more years.
Doesn't feel like the Red Sox. I mean, they love that guy.
I mean, that feels like underwater to me.
Well, the manager loves him.
That feels like they should sell high.
I wish you were right, Jimmy. I don't think that's going to happen.
Because then you can transfer that money savings into a new Alex Bregman contract.
Well, they already saved the money on Devers.
They can save more money. And then they can use more money to spend on older players.
They do like saving money.
And they can re-sign Lucas Giolito.
Well, they need to manipulate his
service
pitch,
time.
By the way, I still haven't done the math on. Basically, Lucas Giolito, Jimmy, needs to pitch about 5 to 5 1/3 innings in his remaining 14 starts to hit his 140 innings.
I kind of am interested now in seeing what his expected pitching innings are next.
His expected innings. We'll find that. We'll calculate that. Once I figure out how to do basic math, we'll get there. 617-779-0985. Jimmy Stewart has a Celtics take that we will get to next. No commercials, just the headlines. Matt McCarthy and Jay Stu on the Jay Stu Experience program Saturday morning thing.
From the Tell Your Time Studios, WBZ FM and HD1. It's not just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Boston Red Sox yesterday defeated the Washington Nationals 11-2 in Washington. They are currently 6.5 games out of first place. The Blue Jays, Yankees, and Rays are all ahead of the Red Sox in the American League East. Lucas Giolito, who's on an innings limit going forward, I'm sure, allowed 1 run over 7 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. Trevor Story, who I would trade at the deadline, hit a 2-run homer. Roman Anthony reached base 5 times. Red Sox and Nationals will play their second game of their 3-game series today at 4:05. Walker Buehler, 5-6 on the season, 6.45 ERA, goes against left-handed pitcher Mitchell Parker for the Nationals in Washington. 4:05 first pitch for that one. Joey Chestnut, he won the annual hot dog eating contest by consuming 70.5 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Ugh. It was his 7th win in 20 appearances. Did you know that he didn't participate last year because he was in a contract dispute over eating hot dogs? Think of that.
What a great country. God bless America. You can do it.
Amazing.
Only in America.
I read the game story on the Joey Chestnut thing, and he sat out last year because he was in a contract dispute. You eat hot dogs, dude. And you've won the thing 17 out of 20 times. It's disgusting.
There was a Boston sports-related moment yesterday at the hot dog eating contest. We'll get into that later in the program.
Oh, okay. And soccer match tonight. The New England Revolution are in Portland, 10:30 tonight on 98.5 The Sports Hub. You can listen to that game right here on the Hub. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the new burgers at the 99. Yes. Like the new bourbon onion burger. Oh, that sounds delish. I need some right now. Their half-pound, 100% American Angus beef is sure to please. You gotta love the Nines, and I gotta love that new bourbon onion burger at the 99 restaurants. I'm James Stewart on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update will be around noontime.
Here we go.
Boom. I win. Kaboom. Yeah.
It's a buddy. We've got a passion for Boston sports. Get angry. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Boston sports. Yeah, we got that covered. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
So I like Joe Mazzulla. I think he's a top coach in the NBA. So I ask, do you know, Gary, what his contract status is at the moment?
Well, he has one more year left. So obviously, if the Celtics are going to bring him back, they will bring him back soon. I think he's the Celtics coach for as long as he wants to be. I think they like his style. You don't make changes from good young coaches. Joe's a good young coach. He's not even 40 yet. He's going to increasingly get better. And you don't see anything where the players don't want to play for him or there's dissension in the locker room. It's a very good locker room, a very good environment.
Kyle's playing this because he wants Joe Mazzulla gone. Is that accurate, Kyle?
Not at all.
Okay.
I mean, do you want him gone? Well, you should. What's wrong with you?
What are you talking about? He's a top 10 coach in the NBA, and you want to get rid of him?
You're going to start up with your top 10 coach in the NBA crap again, Jimmy?
It's not crap. It's accurate.
All right.
You want to do the list?
Give me your take. Here's the list.
All right.
Jimmy has a list.
All right. By default, I have to put the Thunder coach, local guy, as number one. But after that, it's Spoelstra, Kenny Atkinson in Cleveland, Rick Carlisle with the Pacers.
Carlisle's great.
Nick Nurse.
Yeah. Championship.
Chris Finch of the Wolves.
Okay.
Thibodeau, who's unemployed and shouldn't be unemployed.
Yep.
Budenholzer of the Suns, or formerly of the Suns. Udoka of the Rockets.
Should be higher on the list.
This is after one by default. Like, I have to put the championship coach as number one. Other than that, these are in no particular order. Quinn Snyder of the Hawks.
That was 10 right there.
And Mazzulla's on the list.
At 11.
No, I'll order them. I'm sorry. I was just going to run off list, right? So
did I just count 11?
Let's see.
Joe Mazzulla listed 11th.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have 14 coaches that I like in the NBA.
Right? Jimmy Stewart's top 10 list, including 14 guys.
Okay, so...
who's getting cut? Obviously Joe Mazzulla.
Okay, so I'm going to cut Redick, who I never got to. Redick's a really good greaseboard coach. He's just not anything else. Let's see. I don't like the Thunder coach, but I feel like he should be there because he won. So he's got to be on the list. Spoelstra has got to be on the list. I love Kenny Atkinson in Cleveland. Kerr's a suck-bag coach. Carlisle I'll keep. Nick Nurse failed, so I'll cut him off the list. The Wolves failed, so I'll cut him off the list. Mazzulla's on my list. Thibodeau, he's unemployed, so maybe that makes him a bad coach.
No, because he's a better coach than Joe Mazzulla.
He is.
Yes.
Budenholzer I'll cut off. Udoka's on the list. Quinn Snyder's on the list. Mike Malone I never got to, and he's
also unemployed and better than Joe Mazzulla.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got Joe Mazzulla as at least the 8th best coach in the NBA right now.
Boy, coaching in the NBA really sucks, huh?
It actually does. I mean, half the league of coaches I don't like, but I like Mazzulla. It goes back to this, Matt, and it'll be a never-ending fight for me, apparently. I like open shots. If you looked at the open shots of the two teams that were in the NBA Finals, they led the playoffs in open shots attempted. So there's a reason for that. Part of that is coaching. Part of that is play style. There's a lot of different things with that.
Is that Tom Thibodeau saying, you keep missing, so I'm going to keep giving you these shots, and I'm going to bait you into this because your coach isn't smart enough to adjust?
So
Tom Thibodeau, a better coach than Joe Mazzulla, as you just admitted.
The direct answer to your question is likely yes, right? It's likely yes. I think one of the things that Joe Mazzulla does, to his credit, is, see what I did there? I said yes to your question, but I'm crediting Mazzulla on something else.
Move on to something else.
Because I'm going to defer to something else. Is Joe educates his players so that they can make decisions in real time on the court. So, not to bore you with the NBA as understand it. But like, so Tatum's got the ball at the top of the key. They have like 3 different options to run for plays, and if they're all reading the defense, they can't run those 3 plays. So now it's a panic shot because your shot clock is expired. But I think in general, Joe has him prepped for the possessions going forward and reading the defense. And if the defense is this, you go to this, and so on. But open 3-point attempts, because the team is built for the 3-point shot. That's how the Celtics have built their team over the course of the last few years, is for the open 3-point shot. And they missed them. Make or miss league. And I know that's such a horrible out, but that's what it was. In the game that they lost, game 2 against the Knicks, they had 45 open 3-point shots. I'll take 45 open shots during the course of an NBA game. Players got to make them.
Farther away from the basket and therefore harder to hit.
Well, but
and that is why they are open.
I'd have to go through a little bit more detail as to where those 3-pointers were attempted from. But just watching the game, there was a frustration because the players weren't making their threes.
Right, the human element.
There should have been an adjustment. But if you go to the paint, would you rather have a contested shot and have 45 contested shots in the paint?
It's closer.
It is, but that doesn't mean that they're more
therefore
makeable.
The shot is easier. It depends on how contested it is.
Yes, and that's been going on for years in the NBA.
Right. So I mean, it's not black and white. It's not cut and dry. But
shades of gray, absolutely.
For Joe Mazzulla, it's black and white.
Oh, of course it is.
Shot open, shoot ball.
Yes, absolutely. And that's how a lot of the NBA plays. I think what you're going to hear, and Scal treated this as like this amazing revolutionary concept on draft night, because the Celtics draft pick is good at cutting. He's good at cutting. Well, the Warriors won championships on cutting different places in the NBA. It's essentially, Matt, what it comes down to is the Celtics last year did not move well without the basketball. And yes, they got open shots from passing or driving kicks, but the Celtics this year, especially with no Tatum, they need to move better with the basketball. They showed you a little bit of that in Game 5 against the Knicks, but that's what they got to do more. That comes down to coaching. That comes down to adjusting what you have as a team and coaching to what your strengths are. And to answer your next question is, can Joe Mazzulla do it? We don't have evidence that he can outside of Game 5, and it lasted 1 game. So can he do it? I'm not sure. I would like to think that if he's a good young coach, which I think he is, he can adapt to the team that he is in front of him, and you have to look at the roster that he's presented.
I don't think Joe Mazzulla is an adaptable guy. I think he's a stubborn guy, and I think that is his greatest flaw as a coach. I think he's bright. I think he's smart, but he thinks he has all the answers. That's the way he approaches it. The timeout thing a few years ago, he had an idea in the regular season. I'm not going to call timeout. I'm going to let my players learn how to play through it, because, in part because the Celtics always struggled figuring out what to do in big moments. That has been a problem they've had for years. So his idea in the regular season was, this is a small way that I can train my team and teach my team how to play through adversity, because I'm not going to bail them out. And people questioned it in the regular season, but I kind of understood it. But when it came to the playoffs, he still refused to call timeouts because he had been questioned for 82 games about it, and he dug in his heels and he was like, no, I know what I'm doing. You don't. Stop questioning me. And it hurt the team because he refused to call timeouts. Refused to. He's too stubborn. It is his fatal flaw. And he's been beaten up, Jimmy, over the 3-point shooting. He was beaten up over it last year. He was beaten up over it this year. And now, given that it has failed, it failed. And given that the team is in a different spot, is he going to get defensive and stubborn and say, no, I know what I'm doing, and we're going to keep doing this? That would be my concern.
That might be dependent upon whether he gets a new contract or not. And that plays off of the Gary Washburn question that I asked, and Gary's answer. There's been subsequent reporting from Michael Hawley and Tim Welsh about, well, there might be a team option. So when Brad Stevens says we have Mazzulla for multiple years, Mazzulla should have gotten a contract extension last year, because everybody got paid from the Celtics last year.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're a year later, and we don't have that extension. And the number for Mazzulla in terms of years and dollars has gone up. Because would you say, Matt McCarthy, there's a name of a new hire that I did not mention on that list.
Mike Brown.
Mike Brown. Where do you think Mike Brown is a better coach than Joe Mazzulla?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
But that's not saying that much.
All right, so you think Mike Brown's better. Okay, well, Mike Brown supposedly is getting 4 years and $8 to $9 million to coach the Knicks.
Joe Mazzulla has a championship, so by the market and, major East Coast city, all that stuff, Joe should be getting 4 years at
$10 million.
$8 million, $9 million. You want to argue $10 million? He can make that argument. I would not make that on behalf of him, but he has every right to make that argument.
So I think maybe in Coach Mazzulla's mind, it's 4 years and it's $10 million because that's what the market is. Mazzulla has a championship. I mean, Mike Brown, I think, has a championship as an assistant coach with the Warriors. He might have an assistant coach championship somewhere else, but side topic. Kenny Atkinson has a championship as an assistant coach with the Warriors. He was on the Steve Kerr's coaching staff when the Celtics lost to the Udoka years. But I think Joe Mazzulla's contract extension should start with 4 years and $10 million because that's what the top 10 coaches in the NBA are making, right? But here's the problem, Matt. And this goes to the point about new ownership, which I'm still waiting on approval from the NBA on. That was supposed to happen last month. The NBA approved the sale of the Wolves from, I almost said Glenn Davis, but that's wrong, from the previous ownership to the A-Rod group. Right, so now A-Rod is going to Fanatics Fest and giving away Wolves tickets, right? That was supposed to happen. The Bill Chisholm ownership group transition was supposed to happen last month, was my understanding. That has not happened yet. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know whether it's real money versus fake money. I don't know what the holdup is. I really don't. But when they officially get approved by the NBA, don't you have to re-sign your head coach? Or has Joe Mazzulla priced himself out of a contract extension? I don't know that to be true, but where's my coach's contract extension?
Well, where's the money for a lot of people in the Celtics organization right now? Because it's not here. It's elsewhere. 617-779-0985.
Not to mention
Thoughts?
the roster, and they still have to get back under the second apron and the first apron and to the taxpayer thing.
The cost cutting continues with the Boston Celtics, and is it extending to the head coach?
It's a question I have, Matt, and you were on this first about the Chisholm group, these investors.
Hashtag McTakey was right.
And my follow-up to this is, why are all these NBA legacy owners getting out? The Lakers just sold. The Celtics are selling. The Bucks sold years ago. Why are they all getting out of the NBA business? What am I not seeing about the NBA business that is making all these marquee franchise teams sell?
We'll get into all of that. We continue. It's the Jimmy Stewart Experience featuring Matt McCarthy here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The
first of all, keep any of those discussions in-house. But we've got Joe under contract for multiple years right now, and so we certainly want Joe to be around here for a long time.
Interesting, Stu, is I believe every word that Brad Stevens says there. I think they do like Joe Mazzulla. So why isn't it done?
Must be an ownership level thing. That's the only thing that I can come up with.
Yeah.
Or there's a dispute on the money, the term and money.
Which would be an ownership level thing.
Yeah.
Because that's... Now, Stevens probably has more to say in regards to term. That is probably more of a general manager decision. But what you pay your head coach... It's not really a general manager level decision. That's an
ownership thing. And there is a vibe that there has been a vibe that I don't know that Wick loved Joe Mazzulla as the head coach. I think he's always been Brad's guy as head coach. That's always a vibe. And there are incidents where you'll see Wick barking about like, why is this player still in the game? Like you remember these, right?
I do, yeah.
Like Wick and Pags was there. Pags would have paid it.
He would have paid it.
I don't know if that's true, but we'll go.
No,
with
I think he would have. More so than Bill.
Pags has real money. Chisholm has fake money, right?
It's not his money.
It's not his money. So.
He's beholden to private equity, these VCs, and all that.
And maybe
stuff.
this is why the NBA has not approved it yet. Is because he's only got like $3 billion in real money, and all the rest of it is like fake money.
Yeah. So that's.
And I don't understand how that works. But it's like this expected thing, like we're expected to do this, this, and this. And it's like, well, we have actual, like this is why Pags could only bid $6 billion is because that's all he had in real money. And maybe Chisholm's only got $3 billion in real money. And he's got like investment funds that he needs to cash out or something like that. I don't know how I don't have a business degree. I don't know how it works.
But I think you're right. This is why the Mazzulla thing isn't done yet. It comes down to money, and ownership doesn't want to spend money. It doesn't want to make a commitment right now for whatever that reason may be, the same way that they're cutting costs and cutting money all over the place, which is what I told you, Jimmy, was exactly what was going to happen. This Bill Chisholm is a problem. He's a problem. He is a clear and present danger to the future of the Boston Celtics because he doesn't want to spend it. The first thing Bill Chisholm said in his interview to Chris Forsberg, when Forsberg asked him, hey, you got, a lot of contracts coming up. What are you going to do about that? Bill Chisholm's response, and I paraphrase, his response to, are you going to pay these guys was, I sat in obstructed view seats at the old Boston Garden, which is not a good answer to that.
No.
Meaning, I'm going to cut costs. I didn't buy the Boston Celtics to spend more money on the Boston Celtics. I bought the Boston Celtics to spend less money on the Boston Celtics, which makes sense for someone like him, Jimmy. They don't own their own building. Their revenue in that case is limited.
But it's still a lot more than the Bruins make in that building.
Yes.
And it's by a lot. I heard there was a whole to go fight about the Bruins and the Celtics last summer about revenues in the building and all that stuff.
The Bruins own the building, but the Celtics are in the NBA, and the NHL just doesn't have the revenue streams that the NBA has. End of story. And Boston is one of the premier hockey markets in the world.
I think they have like the top 5 ticket price or something like that. And that's only going up.
Yeah, the Bruins?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but there's demand. I went to a game, it was one of the final games of the year, and that place was banged out for the Bees. I paid a pretty penny to go to that game. I just needed something to do on a Saturday night, and I hadn't been to a Bruins game in a while, and I went and watched Hustadinov and Fraser Minton play.
He's going to be good.
Fraser Minton?
Yeah, Kevin Majori is big on him.
Okay, there we go.
Two-way center, left-hand shot. Like, he's going to be good.
I'm not paying that money to go see Tanner Jeannot, though. Somebody's got to pay that Tanner Jeannot contract. Chisholm.
But
Bad
so
news,
we have felt for a long time, we being the Felgar Naz show, that the Bruins will have a lesser head coach at a lesser value. The Red Sox used to do this for a long time. Is that they wouldn't pay like. Yes, Francona left. He told them in that meeting, like, he had lost the room. The Red Sox did not want to pick up those 2 options that were on Terry Francona's contract for big money because they historically have not paid big money for their manager.
So they don't have to.
Right.
From
now,
a business standpoint, they don't have to. The Red Sox print money.
Yeah, and now the Red Sox had to, because they fell into the manipulation of Alex Cora, they paid him top dollar. And also now, in the business sense, the Red Sox feel like paying $8 million to have a shield who's out there before and after every game is more valuable than, X, Y, or Z big, the Rafael Devers contract. Like, Cora's going to win us games by manipulating the lineup. In basketball, as we go through the list, there's only a handful of real impact coaches in the NBA. Do I think Missoula is going to grow into that? I hope so. I don't know so. I'd love to be here and be like, yep, in 5 years, we're going to talk about Joe Missoula like we talked about Eric Spoelstra. Because remember, the rep on Spoelstra was, well, he has LeBron.
Yep.
He has a team that he walked into, and for 4 years they were in the NBA Finals, but it was really LeBron James. And then you get past the LeBron James era in Miami, and you realize, well, Spoelstra has had a less than top 2, 3, 4, 5 team in the NBA, and it's like the little engine that could. It's like he's coaching his ass off to get them into the playoffs, to get things done, and to have a successful Miami Heat team. I hope that we're talking the same way about Joe Missoula in a few years, in that, and this is where you think Brad Stevens is a better NBA coach than Joe Missoula.
No doubt about it.
Right? And I agree with you.
Better X's and O's basketball coach than Joe Missoula.
I agree with you. And you know why you think that? Is because Brad Stevens had a bunch of bridgy players.
Yep.
He had a bunch of less thans, and he ran into how many consecutive Final Fours in the NBA? And yes, they got smoked by better teams in those Final Fours, although that Game 7 against the Cavs, where they had LeBron on the ropes and Tatum doesn't touch the ball for the last 3 minutes of the game.
And Terry Rozier goes 0 for 11. Terry Rozier, Mr. Gambler himself.
There's a gambling aspect to this now. There's a whole nother level as to why maybe the Celtics didn't actually win that game. But just on that point is Brad Stevens was coaching his ass off, and you saw it with younger players. He was teaching younger players and getting more wins. Now with Missoula, he came into a turnkey operation, a team that had just lost the NBA Finals to the Warriors, and then he gets players added to that. Porzingis is added. Brogdon is added. Holiday is added. Like, you're getting more and more stars, and you're like, oh, this team should not have blown back-to-back 20-point leads against the Knicks in 2 games. They should not have been eliminated by the Knicks. And so it's an underachievement. So we look at Joe Missoula very differently because he had a team of stars that underachieved 1 year, underachieved the year before they won the NBA title. So that's why we look at it differently, as opposed to Brad, who are like, oh my gosh, look at the talent. He turned Isaiah Thomas into a player who was getting MVP votes. And that's why we look at them very differently.
So, but from an ownership standpoint, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Is Joe Missoula a worthwhile investment for Bill Chisholm?
I would say yes. Based on what has happened in the last year, I feel like they're saying no.
They're paying for Tatum. They're paying for Brown. They don't own their own building. They're trying to find ways to cut costs in any possible way because that's what Bill Chisholm specializes in. This from the Symphony Technology Group About Us website.
Oh, boy.
Bill Chisholm's company. We are former entrepreneurs and business leaders who love helping companies reach their full potential. That's always scary.
He's from Georgetown, Matt.
Yep. We have extensive experience in carve-outs, public to private transactions, and private equity investments, giving us the insight we need to drive seamless, positive outcomes. Let me translate that for you, Jimmy. We love cutting fat. We love bringing in private equity money, and we love making more money for our investors at the expense of everything else. Why would Joe Missoula be a worthwhile investment for Bill Chisholm when he can get a cheaper coach and he basically just keeps a couple of good players? That's enough to make money with the Celtics. They don't own their own building. That increases their profit margin. Why does Joe Missoula make sense at $10 million a year when he can get somebody to do it for $4 million?
He doesn't.
There you're at.
He doesn't. Like, that's the reality of it.
That's why he doesn't have his contract extension. And ownership.
Especially when you're looking at your starting 5, your players. Derek White.
Yep.
Anthony Simons.
Boy.
Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, okay. Like him. He's good.
It's
their front court right now.
Georges Nang.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I would put Luka Garza as the starting center, but I mean, or
Matt Garza, the Rays pitcher,
or like it's Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Simons, Brown, and Luka Garza.
What about Keita?
I mean, he's on this list. I wouldn't start him at center.
You'd start Luka Garza at center?
Yeah.
Who?
Exactly.
I heard you and Coley took your pants off for him for 10 minutes on Monday. That was a must listen to experience. You guys broke that down. You were very excited. It was Joe's birthday, and that took you away from that.
Yep.
That signing really happened at
Happy
a bad
birthday,
moment.
my coach. When can we celebrate your new contract?
Do you acknowledge him?
I do.
617-779-0985.
Simons is extension eligible. Do you think that happens?
No. Yeah. I don't think the Celtics are interested in
They're
handing
still
out
over
money.
the second apron.
They've got to find a way to... What's next? Who's going next?
It has to be Simons.
That's the real question.
Right?
I would think so.
Simons and Hauser, I think they have to wait 30 days before they can move Simons.
I'm sorry.
Officially.
I'm sorry if Sam Hauser goes for you. I know that will be really hard.
You know what?
Do you want to talk about it?
He disappointed me because he couldn't play through a back injury last year. So, but I
He's
mean,
no longer your guy, Sammy Buckets?
I love the name. He played good defense, but he got paid and he got injured. I'm moving on.
He got paid and he got injured. I'm going to translate that being like he got his money and he's all good. Checked out. Which, I mean, I don't blame him. I would do the same thing. Brandon and Milton. Brandon.
Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Brandon. Hi, how's it going? This is
mediocre.
Brandon. Good. My question was, what do you think realistic expectations for the Celtics next season? Where do you think they're going to finish?
Middle of the Eastern Conference playoff picture.
Good question. Good question. Because I believe that Brad's going to turn Simons into something, and it's going to be some split deal, and I'm going to be like, okay, they're younger players, but if you look at duos in the NBA and specifically in the Eastern Conference, the Celtics should be the third seed with Brown and White.
Yeah. No, they still have enough in a lousy conference.
Right? Like here are the best duo. Like they're injured duos. Like Giannis no longer has Lillard, which I'm a no on Lillard, right? Halliburton's out, so it's just Siakam, right? And they just lost Turner to the Bucks. So the Bucks now have Giannis and Miles Turner as their duo. So at best, that's two in the conference. I have to, by default and by respect, say that the Knicks are going to finish above the Celtics, right?
Yes.
And
the
Cavaliers
Knicks were apparently better than the Celtics when the Celtics were healthy, which is saying something.
And the Cavaliers right now, they have Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. They were a 68-win team in the Eastern Conference, I think. They might get a LeBron, by the way. I wouldn't sleep on that. There's a trade to be made there with LeBron.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
I wouldn't sleep on LeBron James going back to the Cavaliers. This I think, if this is LeBron James's last year in the NBA, that's a good way for him to go out.
Yep.
Is with the Cavaliers. So
he and Bronny go there.
I'm giving you that the Cavaliers, even with Mitchell and Mobley and Kenny Atkinson as a top-tier NBA coach, they're the number one seed going into this year. I will give you the Knicks as the 2 seed out of respect for the fact that they beat the Celtics, right? So then you're at Giannis, Team Giannis.
Yeah.
Right?
At this point, yeah.
So you're at Team Giannis, and then name me a better duo in the Eastern Conference.
Boncaro and Wagner?
Against the Celtics, sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like Desmond Bane, Orlando overpaid for the right idea and the right concept. They needed a shooter. They needed a three-point shooter. They needed somebody who could come off and snipe, and they overpaid for it. And I respect them for doing that.
Given where they're at, what team they are, the state of the Eastern Conference, it made sense. Sense for them.
So, okay, so you want to give me that one? That's fine. The Celtics, I think, are the third best team in the East right now with their roster construction, right? And I hate it, but I think Brad's going to turn Simons into something.
I don't disagree,
but
they're somewhere in that pack, Jimmy.
3, 4, 5
somewhere. Yep.
And who knows? Maybe you make a conference final, but it's extra revenue. But it's a chance. And if this Chris Forsberg story is you have to wait 2 seasons before they go back into spending big, quote unquote, then don't keep Jaylen Brown, don't keep Derek White, just move on from them. Because I don't have 2 seasons to wait. I don't want to throw away seasons. I don't want to throw away years of players' careers. One of the great crimes in hockey is Patrice Bergeron. Yes, he played a long time, but he missed 3 years or 4 years, 4 full seasons because of either injury or lockout or whatever. Like, that's a crime that there wasn't a full 82 games every year for Patrice Bergeron. Tatum got hurt. Got it.
Okay, yeah, I don't want to waste a year of Jaylen Brown.
I don't want to waste a year of Jaylen Brown or Derek White. I don't want to do that.
I'm right there with you.
And so, like, I'm not okay with, if you want to make a trade and let some other suckbag team draft a top 5 player for you, I'm in. I don't want to give away years. I don't want to lose every night watching the Celtics team knowing that they're not going anywhere. Like, I would rather have the bridgy Celtics with Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder and Avery Bradley and that scrappy underdog team competing and playing hard and giving me good entertainment every night than just being like, they're going to lose by 30. What's the point?
All right, your thoughts next. One open line. Grab it. 617-779-0985. The Jimmy Stewart program here on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports.
Jason's injury, who knows what you do if that series is 3-1 you at that time, and do you finish it out or whatever the case, right? Things can go different ways, but I thought the part of those games that stood out to me was more than anything when we got stagnant and we played without pace, and you could just feel it. You could see the walking up. You see all that. I think we're going to try to address some of that. I think
at press conference, he wanted to rant and rave about that game, and he's mad at Missoula for it. He's less mad at Missoula for it. But I think Brad is mad at Joe about it too, but Joe is also as bad. We all should be. We all should be. And for those people out there who are like, oh, well, Tatum blew out his Achilles, they wouldn't have won anyway. You don't know that. You don't know if they're up 3-1, if it's different, and maybe they do lose the series because of the Tatum injury. But maybe they win the series and they have to adapt and they get blown out by the Pacers anyway, and it's irrelevant. But at least you would have made the conference finals and you wouldn't have lost back-to-back games to the Knicks with a 20-point lead. That's what's frustrating. Here's another thing, Matt, that we don't talk about enough, is defenses can go into a slump. And the Celtics defense went into a slump at the same time the Celtics offense went into a slump. And that's just not something that's talked about in basketball enough.
Do you put that on the coach?
I put that on everybody. I'll blame the coach. I'll blame the assistant coach. I'll blame the players. I'll blame everybody. Defensive adjustments are important in especially in the playoffs. And this is why Orlando took them so deep. Size, defense, length, matchups, all that. It's just frustrating. But there's also it's right, but it's also easy to point out missed shots. That's very easy. The casual fan can understand that. When somebody blows a defensive coverage, unless it's obnoxious or there's a switch to as Max likes to call on the broadcast, a mouse in the house, where you've got a big on a 7-footer on a 6'3" player. You can clearly see that. But outside of that, if the Knicks are running the same play over and over and the Celtics defense can't read it, can't adjust it, that's coaching, that's players.
So you would give that coach who let all of that happen a contract extension?
Absolutely, because he's one of the best young coaches in the NBA.
Somehow that doesn't seem to connect.
So here's also my problem, Matt.
Compromise.
This is a me problem, right? This is absolutely a me problem. My default setting is criticism. So even though I'm advocating for somebody, there's still in the back of my mind, there's this criticism element nope, he's not perfect, here are the flaws. But I haven't looked into other coaches around the league to be like, oh, they're much worse. It's just it's
Celtics personnel. So yes, just keep them all around.
But I can go to game 2 and look at the Celtics ran 5 of the same offensive and defensive plays. And the Knicks sniffed them out the second time around.
But you'd still bring them back.
Yes, absolutely. Because bet that happens more in other teams in other cities, but I'm not as focused on them. But defenses go into a slump, offenses go into a slump.
Listen, Jimmy, I know what it's like to lose somebody who gives you tickets, and it's not, and just for the wrong reasons.
Well, so the Celtics, this is another concern with the Chisholm Group, is that the Celtics ecosystem of people that you've never heard of is really good. And I don't say that as somebody who's known most of them for 20-something years, but they have a really good ecosystem.
They do.
And I hate to see that messed up.
There's no doubt about it. I wish the Red Sox had that type of ecosystem, but they'll be the first to tell you how good they are at it. 617-779.
Well, Sam's been a Red Sox employee for 30 years now?
Yeah, something close to it, right?
Right. So you would think that he would be part of the good ecosystem, but yet the ecosystem has people leaving, and team building exercises are cleaning the trash. That's a whole nother disaster. There are people who left the Red Sox organization within the last 2-3 years, not for financial reasons, but for culture reasons. They don't believe in the Red Sox culture because there's a feeling over there that winning isn't the most important thing. Investing in people is not the most important thing. It's invest in 1 or 2 people and everybody else is replaceable.
Again, let's go to the Zach Scott tweet. A Red Sox player development member once told me that he knew it was time for an exit strategy when a newly hired by Hein Bloom minor league field coordinator declared in their first meeting that, quote, we no longer coach fundamentals, unquote. So, yeah.
And that's just the on-field stuff.
Yeah. Forget the office politics, which obviously exist and we're reading about now. And, Yeah, culture is important. And the Celtics, Jimmy, you are right. They've had a really good culture. And you worry about that with new ownership for sure. How about Don and Carver? Don, how you doing?
Hi, Don.
Hey, guys. Listen, I just wanted to give a big fat shout out to you guys. I've been listening to you all morning. And I'm in your corner, Matt. Matt, you started out, in my estimation, I had to get used to you. You're a little bit abrasive, a little bit attitude-wise. I had to get used to you, but it's part of your personality, and you're really knowledgeable, and you really, really, what gets me is that you're so adherent to being a historian for the games that go beyond your birth date. And Jay Stu, I'm sorry, I don't know that much about you, except you're on the other side of the glass giving pertinent comments after the guys who are on the other side of the glass who make the big money, and your comments seem to be better than theirs. And the two of you together today were awesome, and I just wanted to let that out.
Thank you, Don. I was looking for you yesterday at Erickson's. That was a great way to spend the 4th of July.
Appreciate the kind words. So I'm the chirping menace on Felger and Maz.
I was going to say I'm abrasive. You're abrasive. You're abrasive on that program, although I guess probably not as abrasive as everybody else on that program. So there you go. Happy to be a soft level of abrasion, I guess. Thank you, Don. I think it was kind of a backhanded compliment, but damn, do I respect it.
See, maybe Don's default setting is much like mine, where it's criticism.
Don's good people. Good people.
Didn't he curse at you once? Is that the same guy who cursed at you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing the lightning round, and he said, no lightning round for me.
F off?
Something along those lines. I think it was more of a J.O. type of thing.
Oh, okay.
And it was great. It was one of my favorite calls I've ever gotten from my guy, Don and Carver, one of my many, many hometowns. Another one of our guys, Dean in Shrewsbury. Dean!
Hey, Jimmy, you're doing a great job. I'm glad to hear you.
Thank you, Dean. I just want to say before we get into it, Dean, we appreciate you calling just about every day to Felger and Maz. You're a great caller. You're an asset to the basketball, the fandom of the basketball industrial complex, I guess, maybe.
Thank you. So I'm calling to agree on you with Hauser. Part of it is the reason I want to trade him is a fit thing with Niang and Garza and possibly Damian Lillard. We're probably not running the same defense. So Hauser isn't going to be the quote-unquote weak link that can actually play great one-on-one defense anymore. His back injury is worrisome. And in the preseason, he was looking like he had the potential to be a 3-level scorer with some playmaking, maybe a guy that can get you like 15 or 16 points a game on the right team. And that just didn't come to fruition during the regular season. So there might be another team that's out there that looks at him and says this guy can be a 3-level scorer for us, either coming off the bench or a 4th or 5th option on the starting lineup, getting like 15, 16 points a game for us, scoring on all 3 levels and some level of playmaking. So we might be able to extract some good value for that. So I definitely want to move him, especially because of the back injury.
Thank you, Dean. Dean and Jimmy backing away from Sam Hauser is the equivalent of Nixon losing Cronkite. It's like when we've lost Cronkite, we've lost the country. Right?
When we've lost Milliken, we've lost the Red Sox.
Was it Nixon or was it LBJ?
They're probably both crooked, so I'll go with both of them.
Yeah, no, who said, no, it was LBJ. If I've lost Cronkite, I've lost the country. Yeah. When Sam Hauser has lost Dean and Jimmy Stewart, he's lost everybody.
I'll tell you the thing about Hauser is that there are, and I think this Anthony Simons kid is and Sam Hauser are kind of one and the same, is that they are high-level X on a bad team. And so, yeah, Simons has 21 points per game for the Portland Trailblazers, who finished 12th in the West, and yes, they had 36 wins, but Sam Hauser goes to, say, the Washington Wizards or the Charlotte Bobcats. he's a 17-point-a-game player as a starter because there are just so many fake numbers in the NBA. And Hauser could absolutely put up fake numbers. Like if Peyton Pritchard, I would fight with Maz about this. Peyton Pritchard is a starting point guard on a bottom 10 NBA team. He might be the
starting point guard for the Celtics.
Right. But it's because they can't play defense. Hauser tries at defense. Simons was described to me as horrendous on defense. That doesn't work for me, brother. Right? In the same way Peyton Pritchard tries on defense, but as you saw kind of in the playoffs this year is when he tries on defense, he's less efficient on the three-point shot. So he can't be that sixth-man microwave oven off the bench for scoring. You gotta pick a lane. I feel like the core of the Celtics right now is Tatum's hurt, but Tatum, Brown, White, and Peyton Pritchard. I would trade Peyton Pritchard. But again, we have to look at the contracts. We have to look at the player values. And that's why they probably won't trade Peyton Pritchard. They're probably going to trade Hauser because he's not a starting player. But for a bottom NBA team, he's probably a starting player.
617-779-0985. We continue. Matt McCarthy, Jimmy Stewart. Got an hour to go, and Stu still has a list of things over there we need to get to. What do we have? What's our list?
There's the Alex Bregman potential contract extension.
Okay.
Jaren Duran is a leadoff hitter. In or out?
Ooh, out.
Right?
Jaren Duran out in general.
The Red Sox media industrial complex lecturing me. Oh, the Red Sox caring more about media than winning baseball games.
Let's get into some of that coming up next.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5.
44-45. They have a chance today to go to 45-45 on the season as they play in Washington, the second game of their series at 4:05 Eastern Standard Time. Walker Buehler goes for the Red Sox. Lefty Mitchell Parker goes for the Nationals. What else is going around in Boston sports? Joey Chestnut wins the hot dog contest yesterday. 70.5 hot dogs in 10 minutes. 17th victory in 20 appearances. One contract holdout in those times. And the New England Revolution are in action tonight in Portland. Their soccer match is at 10:30 tonight, right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Sports Hub headlines brought to you by Veterinary Urgent Care Center. With 8 locations in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, VUCC offers compassionate, convenient, high-quality care 7 days a week. Walk in or book an appointment at veturgentcare.com. Veterinary Urgent Care Center. Urgent care for your pet's urgent needs. I'm James Stewart here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update will be about 1 o'clock.
New England plays here.
Ball down the right side. There's a separation. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub. The Bruins, the Celtics, the Patriots, the Sox, the Revs, and you. We're Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
And then there is the perennial runner-up, the Red Sox fan, the physics degree, Jeff Esper.
Yeah, Esper, unlike the Red Sox front office, he's here to win today.
I mean, it's more of a story with baseball in the background. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I would say the same thing about Field of Dreams too. I don't think Field of Dreams is really a baseball movie at its core.
I showed Milliken the Church of Baseball scene.
Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, this is great." He still hasn't watched it yet. But like the Church of Baseball is like an iconic scene.
Yes. He's seen Rookie of the Year. It's like the only one he's seen, and he says it's great, and Rookie of the Year is great. How has he not seen Little Big League? That's right up his alley. A 12-year-old who gets to run the Minnesota Twins? The Night Nurses of Jersey?
After you saw Rookie of the Year, did you try to break your arm so you could throw faster?
Obviously. No, actually, no, Stu, I was more into Little Big League because I wanted to manage instead of play. I wanted to be in control of things, like, conducting the Boston Pops. That'd be pretty cool.
By the way, that was when I was failing at Little League and whatever the middle school version of, and
Babe
failing
Ruth.
as a freshman and a sophomore high school baseball player. I always thought, like, I want to be manager of the Boston Red Sox. I don't want to play for the Red Sox. I want to be manager of the Red Sox.
And me too.
Failed at that too.
Still be a cool job. I mean, unlike Alex Cora, I actually want to do it.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to he's just there doing it, And then I thought as I got older, I'm like, well, maybe I could be the GM of the team. Maybe I could be a scout and work my way up. And then I thought, well, maybe I could be team president.
But now everybody wants to be GM.
So now I want to be team president.
It is the coolest job in sports. Like, the whole, Brad Stevens wants to coach. The second he got a taste of that thing, being a GM, but Danny Ainge was calling a Toucher and Rich at the time from, the golf course every Thursday. I mean, it's a good gig. Real good gig. You don't have to travel. You don't have to do any of that. Yeah, manager, fine. But you got to deal with the day-to-day crap. GM, pretty good gig. But every once in a while you have to make a tough decision.
That's another Celtics topic that at some point needs a longer form discussion is, what's Brad Stevens' contract status? Is ownership going to pay for Brad Stevens?
I think it's the most important Celtics topic we have not addressed yet. It's huge. But team president.
I'd love to be a Red Sox team president.
The thing about team president is how much do you really do? And it varies from team to team.
And it also varies from president to president.
Yes. As we found out with the Boston Red Sox. You have a take on this, Steve.
I do. And the basic premise of the take is Sam Kenny needs to be full-time Fenway Sports Group, and they need a new team president that isn't Theo Epstein, right? Larry and Theo worked because Larry would push. Dombrowski worked because Dombrowski would push. John Henry, who is the ultimate decision maker with the finances, would push for urgency to win now. Urgency, like, okay, Theo, you can have your farm system. You can trade for a Billy Wagner and rent him for the season and then get that comp pick. And I know the rules have changed so that you can't do that anymore. But there are other ways to manipulate the system. But you would always have Larry or Dombrowski or Theo. You would always have somebody pushing. And Sam doesn't strike me as the guy who is pushing John Henry to spend appropriately on the team. Last year, the Red Sox were 28th in baseball payroll based on their revenue into the ballpark. So this year, their payroll, their active roster payroll is like 19th. When they add Bregman back to the roster, it's like 10th or 11th or something like that. So, and they just got rid of the Rafael Devers contract. But what the Red Sox need is they need a clear flushing out of their front office. Start with a new team president, get a new GM in there, get a new manager, a new field manager in there, and make sure that they are in basic lockstep with philosophies. And I understand that Lucchino, Theo, and Terry Francona were not perfect, but they all had winning now and in the future as the urgency.
They had the same priority.
Right now, the important thing for the Red Sox the last 6 years since they traded Mookie Betts was, next year's the year. Next year's the year. Next year's definitely the year. Well, the kids are here. You had to send one of them back, but the kids are here. You've got, we think, an ace, and you just traded away your best hitter for Rafael Devers for a less than great prospect haul. So we're still waiting on next year, unless they make a move within the next few weeks to add somebody who's of the level of Rafael Devers. But again, we're back to here are the kids, but we've traded Devers, so it's wait until next year. So when is this year coming? And that's why I think they need to move on from everybody to create a new voice, a new vision, somebody who doesn't have ties to the Boston Red Sox, because Craig Breslow is a fake world champion, He's a fake Red Sox
Well,
player,
he was a big part of 2013. I will give him
Why?
that.
Because he was painting the corners against the Rays in one playoff series?
He was. Actually, he did kind of fall apart a little bit later on, if I remember. But
he had like 2 good games.
He was their primary lefty out of the bullpen. It was him, and they had Koji, of course, and then Tozawa was their primary righty.
Yep.
Breslow was their third guy that year. Fake World Series champion.
Fake World Series champion.
No,
Craig
I would say maybe he's more of a fake general manager because he does everything remotely via Zoom.
The idea is that you need better alignment from the top, from the team president down through the field manager, where we're not getting stories. And look, it wasn't perfect with previous regimes, but you need basic continuity where you don't have a report from Sean McAdams saying Breslow doesn't want Bregman, but Cora and Sam Kennedy do. John Henry is famously on record in 2011 saying he opposed the signing of Carl Crawford, but he deferred to his baseball people. That tells me that if your baseball people like Theo and Larry and Francona are pushing hard enough on something,
that Henry will.
John Henry's like, okay, you got it. In the same way, I think that Sam and Cora pushed hard enough on ownership to be like, okay, 1 year for, essentially 3 1-year contracts for Alex Bregman makes sense. And I think that was because Rafael Devers came to camp out of shape, unprepared to play third base, unprepared to play the field for the Boston Red Sox. And it's a story that I don't think gets talked about enough is that he wasn't prepared to play the field.
They saw him.
That's why.
They saw him. He came into camp before they signed Bregman. They took a look at him and said, we got to pull the trigger. We got to make this thing happen.
And it's it was either not reported or underreported or something. But the real reason that why they got Alex Bregman was because Devers could not play third base. He could not play the field. And isn't it interesting too on Devers that other than him warming up to play first base. He hasn't taken ground balls at first base or third base for the Giants since the Red Sox series.
617-779-0985. There is some stuff on Devers in recent days from San Francisco that we can get to, more on the Bregman stuff. I want to get more into the team president and what the Red Sox need to do moving forward. We'll do it all with you. Couple open lines. They've been hard to come by today. Grab them. Matt McCarthy and Jimmy Stewart hanging out on the Sports Hub.
Boston's home for sports. 90.
we had Craig Breslow on last night. We talked about where the team is as far as this year, the playoffs this year. And I think the thing a lot of fans have asked about is how does that trade make us better this year? So how does that? How does all of this factor into an organization that believes this year is a team built to make the playoffs?
Yeah, well, look, I think both things can be true, that we have every bit of confidence in this group, that we have the ability to be playing postseason baseball. But I don't think you can say that when Rafi Devers leaves the middle of your lineup, that specific move makes you better. That would be silly, right? We made the moves for baseball reasons that were necessary. Still very difficult. One of the more difficult decisions we've made in our 25 years here. So it was difficult. We're moving on, and we thank Rafi for everything he did for this organization. Grew up with us, won a World Series with us, but we're confident in the group that we have and excited about what can be done. But we need to get going. Let's get a sweep tonight. Let's get back to 500. Sit on that off day with a win. And I don't know, no one's counting, but I think we have like 23 games before the trade deadline. So
apparently we are counting.
Yeah.
They have a president and really an entire organization that may be more interested in how the media views them than actually winning baseball games. I have two examples of this. For the field manager part of it and the players part of it is, we know John Boy. We're hardcore baseball people. Yep. John Boy does these great breakdowns of when managers get into fights with umpires, or there's player bickering, stuff of that nature, or when there's cheating. Like, again, I want to state for the record very clearly, the more the Red Sox cheat, the more Alex Cora cheats, the more they win. I'm all for it as long as it gets wins. Like, I'm pro that approach. So Duran gets thrown out at second. There's a replay issue. Duran covers his mouth, says something to the umpire. Found that interesting. Cora then comes out to argue, and in the course of the argument, he covers his mouth. Now, why would you cover your mouth to argue with an umpire?
Oh, so nobody can lip read.
Exactly. So you just showed me that in the heat of a moment, a baseball play that you don't agree with, that you think the umpires just screwed up on, you're concerned with what John Boy is going to do for lip reading, rather than having the actual baseball and sports argument and debating your point and whether you're right or wrong. I think Duran was safe by a fingertip, but it's such a nonsense thing. Like, you have to freeze frame it to make sure. You shouldn't get thrown out of that game. Duran should not have gotten thrown out of that game. It's an important game. Cora should not have gotten tossed from that game. He gets tossed again. I think that was back-to-back games. Ultimately, he would get tossed out of. But they're covering their mouth while they're getting into an argument with an umpire.
I noticed you've picked up on this technique during commercial breaks when maybe as we're coming back and our YouTube is on, Jimmy's going like this so people can't see what he's saying. Yeah,
I 100% have, because I was hosting the nighttime shift and the camera was on, no fault of anybody. Like, Skaz is a one-man band back there. And somebody texted me reading my lips.
And if they're doing that to you, they're definitely doing that to Alex Cora and Jaron Duran.
Absolutely.
John Boy's made a career out of it. So
absolutely.
Yes, the Red Sox and Jimmy Stewart are very concerned about people reading their lips.
So on top of that, Sam Kennedy did his appearance on EEI, his weekly appearance. It's like him and Breslow, whatever. And he made a comment to Chris Curtis, who asked a good question about the trade deadline and spending money and all that stuff. And Sam's response to the question was, well, I don't want to give you an answer because you're going to play it back for the next 3, 4, 5 months, whatever it is.
Honesty.
That might be the only honest thing that Sam has ever said in his time. No, and I say that
in jest.
In jest. But are you running a team to win games, or are you just running a PR thing? Like, there's nothing that infuriates me more than somebody who's scared to tell their truth. And I understand you can't actually tell every bit of your truth into a microphone, but you say something along the lines, hey, it's our intention to do what we can to win baseball games. We want to make a trade that reinvests the Rafael Devers money. We can do that. You can't say to the person asking the question, hey, I don't want to give you an answer because you're going to play it back in our face. Then what are we doing?
Then why are you going on in the first place?
Then you shouldn't have the spot. You shouldn't be talking into a microphone.
Because sorry, Jimmy, because we're going to replay whatever you say anyway.
Yes. And I would rather, Brad Stevens, I don't think has ever lied to us.
I think the only time he even came close was a few weeks ago or a week ago when he talked about, staring the second apron penalties in the face. He's like, well, I didn't really appreciate. I don't think I even appreciated, and I'm paraphrasing, how tough these penalties are. He's doing the bidding there for his new boss.
So, and I think that's part of what it was I don't think that he had to worry about them for a time.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Now with new ownership, he's like, oh, I got to actually worry about these things. And I think that was his realization of oh, you mean this ownership group really wants to cut payroll and we can't go all in, so now we have to kind of manipulate the team under a budget.
Brad's really good at that. He's really good at telling you the truth without really telling you anything.
Exactly. And so, I look forward to that. We criticized Theo Epstein for his bridge year comment in 2009. That team won 86 games. And had Pedroia not been hurt,
right,
they're probably in the 90 category. And who knows? But Theo was always as honest as he could be with the media. And so what? You make fun of the fact that I call it a bridge year. Okay, I'll poke back at you. But if I have a team president, Larry Lucchino was fearless.
No, he'd say whatever.
Right, because he believed in his cause. But if your team president is on your local media outlet or into any microphone and they're like, oh, I don't want you playing this back, that's a horrible look. That's atrocious. That's embarrassing. I would be embarrassed for the team around Sam, and I don't know what the logistics are. I've heard their new PR person is really a good guy. He's trying to bring people as opposed to create conflict.
Which, by the way, I would say as somebody who was on the Sam Kennedy, Craig Breslow call, they were great. They were great to the media members.
So I've heard good things, but he's got to get over there and be like, Sam, you can't say that. And I know that's a hard thing to say to your boss, hey, you can't say this, you can't do this. But he can't be telling media outlets, oh, I don't want to say X, Y, or Z because you're going to replay it. So your team president is worried about the media. Your manager is worried about the media. And Jaron Duran is worried about the media and how they're going to perceive you and what the narrative's going to be. And that's frustrating to me. Are you in it to win baseball games, or are you just in it to give the Dan Shaughnessy illusion of contention? That's frustrating to me. I don't want to waste seasons. I don't want the Bruins to waste a season. I don't want those Celtics to waste a season. I don't want the Red Sox to waste a season. I don't want wasted seasons. Time is valuable. Tomorrow is not guaranteed for any of us.
Very uplifting. I like that. That's a good message that all of us can live by. Jimmy Stewart, you're all going to die. 617-779-0985.
I think that's a Joe Mazzulla-ism from a press conference.
Hey, Joe in Arkansas, did you know that you're going to die before Jimmy just reminded you?
Yes, I did. And first of all, I'm enjoying you guys' show here in Arkansas. I've been a Celtic fan all my life. I go back to the latter part of John Havlicek. So I'm a 66 going on 67-year-old man. Let me tell you what,
Joe, you are always welcome. Folks from that era always welcome. Mike Felger never wants to hear from you, the 67 and 75 folks, but I want to hear from you. You are always welcome on the Jimmy Stewart program.
Thank you.
Joe.
Thank you very much. But what's going on right now? I'm just going to tell you flat out, guys. Joe Mazzulla, I heard what Matt said. I disagree with Matt 100%. Joe Mazzulla should have been fired after his team blew those 2 20-point leads. And what? They blew 2 20-point leads at home.
I know.
How many home playoff games in these 3 years have this guy lost? He went down 3-0 to the Heat after losing 2 games at home, almost came back and won it, and then lost Game 7 the first year.
I know.
Last year, I think it was on automatic pilot, basically. Because what did he do that's so great? That team had been to the final with Udoka the year before that. And this year, They vastly underachieved. There's no way in hell the Knicks should have came back from 20 points down to 2 games. People forget not only that, in Game 4, after the Celtics won Game 3, Celtics had a 15-point lead in that game in the first half.
I know.
And he blew that.
Yep.
Now, yes, some of the blame goes on the players, but whose job is to get in the players, excuse my language, get in the players' ass and tell them, you'll stop jacking up shots, you'll stop walking this ball up and playing like a junior high team.
And that would be Joe Mazzulla's job. Thank you, Joe. We need more Joe in Arkansas. I thoroughly enjoyed him.
He was a good call.
It was great. Got to get it, in the words of Joe in Arkansas, not Matt McCarthy, you got to get in the player's ass.
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Thank you, Joe in Arkansas.
Good caller.
That was great. I've never heard from Joe before. He was awesome.
He was great.
That was good stuff. Good stuff there. And who's it on, Jimmy? Joe Mazzulla, according to Joe in Arkansas.
It's on the players.
We've got folks on the line.
It's on the scheme.
We'll get to you. Some of you have been waiting very patiently.
I blame Austin Ainge. He put the team together.
617-779-0985. That is the voice of the extraordinarily compromised Jimmy Stewart when it comes to all Celtics takes. We continue on the Jimmy Stewart Experience here on the 5th of July. Joe in Arkansas, did you know that you're going to die before Jimmy just reminded you?
Yes, I did.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
We're going to workshop something.
But it's a
future
money.
content.
It's definitely a money-making event.
I like money. Money's
I
good.
love money.
Big fan. I'm often never offended by money.
But we have to talk to the participant and see if he's willing, which I think he will be, in doing the idea that Alex Barth suggested.
It's a good idea.
It's a great idea.
Barth is an idea man. He is. But we were talking about that, and Stu said, "Oh my God! What? Like, oh, geez, did like some breaking news happen?
Tomorrow's never guaranteed."
Right? Yes. Thank you. Are the nukes being launched as we speak, Stu? What's the deal? But no, what is this, Stu? What did you react to?
The Red Sox lineup is out for today's 4:05 first pitch against the Nationals.
Uh-oh. Based on your reaction, what do we have?
All right, so should I do this by the actual 1 through 9 lineup, or should I do this positionally?
Give me the tell you what, give me the positions, and then I will try to figure out 1 through 9 where everybody is lining up.
Okay, leading off. And
no. Give me the positions first.
No, I'm going to.
Okay.
Oh, do you want?
And then I'll try to figure out where they're hitting.
Okay. Let's start with because that gives away about how disgusted I am about this lineup. Okay. Let's go. Let's start in the outfield.
Okay.
Right? Because this will be a little bit easier. Who's the starting left fielder?
Lefty going, right?
Yes.
Ref Snyder.
No.
Duran.
Duran is correct.
Okay.
All right. Who is your center fielder?
Rafaela.
Yes, that's correct. Who's your right fielder?
Against a lefty?
Yes.
Ref Snyder.
No.
Anthony?
Yes.
Let's just keep putting him in right field, you morons.
Okay, your DH
is Ref Snyder.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Okay, your first baseman.
Yep.
Who's your first baseman?
Romy Gonzalez.
Incorrect.
Nate Eaton.
No.
Abraham Toro.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Your second baseman is?
Romy Gonzalez.
Correct. Your shortstop is?
Trevor Story.
Correct. Your third baseman is?
Nate Eaton.
Correct. Here's the order of which Alex Cora decided to put this feels like this was literally out of one of those lottery ping pong spinners.
Can I just guess that it's like Ref Snyder Gonzalez 1-2 or something like that?
Right idea. Nate Eaton is leading off and playing third base for the Boston Red Sox
Nate
today.
Eaton? Who is Nate Eaton?
He's really good according to Alex Cora. Nate Eaton.
Sweet, merciful Jesus. Nate Eaton is our leadoff hitter?
And playing third base for the Boston Red Sox.
This is Alex Cora trying to prove how smart he is. Well, I like playing platoons. I'm obsessed with platoon players. Watch me lead Nate Eaton. Oh, blow it out your ass, dude. Are you kidding me with that? Nate Eaton is your leadoff hitter in a lineup where you have Jarren Duran. Trevor Story should be your leadoff hitter ahead of him. Cedar Rafaela should be your leadoff hitter behind. What just happened to the studio lights here? They just turned red.
They definitely did just turn red.
This is my anger coming out. I have
this is hellfire and brimstone.
I've manifested. This is my hell. Nate Eaton is the Red Sox leadoff hitter. I don't know who Nate Eaton is. I follow baseball. I don't know who he is. What on earth is happening in this studio and with the Red Sox lineup? Red lights kind of look nice, don't they?
They do. Especially for a Red Sox topic.
Sharp.
All right, so Nate Eaton is leading off and playing third base.
Followed by Ref Snyder and Gonzalez.
Incorrect.
Anthony batting second?
Incorrect. Romy Gonzalez is your second baseman and playing batting second.
Okay.
So
Toro's going to hit third.
Incorrect.
Anthony's going to hit third.
And play right field.
Okay.
Ref Schneider is the number 4 hitter and DH. Narvaez is the catcher.
Okay.
Forgot about him. Sorry. He's arguably been your offensive MVP this season.
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Story.
Batting sixth.
Who is great against lefties and is on a heater for the last 6 weeks, is batting sixth and playing shortstop.
Real quick.
Yeah.
For all the Trevor Story people out there, and I've heard from you over the last 24 hours, if Trevor Story were so good, if the Red Sox really believed in Trevor Story the player, not Trevor Story the person because they love him and all that stuff, if they really believed in what Trevor Story was doing right now, wouldn't Trevor Story be your number 3 hitter?
He'd be 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Right. But no, they're
sixth.
keeping him batting sixth because they know this is not sustainable because they know this is who he is. He's just a streaky hitter. And the second you count on him, you're screwed.
Jarren Duran is batting 7th and playing left field. Toro is at first base and batting 8th, and Rafaela, the center fielder, batting 9th.
So I know Duran hasn't hit this year the way he did last year, but the fact that they're now dropping him to 7th against lefties, Jimmy, doesn't that tell you everything you need to know about his future here?
Yeah, and it's killing his trade value.
They missed last offseason. They missed.
First base.
And first base.
2 positions out of 9.
Where, I mean, the rest of your lineup was loaded. And at first base, you actually had a really good, effective platoon. Like, not the Romy Gonzalez thing. Like, they actually had 2 legitimate first basemen who, I mean, Moreland hit righties and Pierce hit lefties.
Yep.
That was it. It's not, we're so smart. We're going to put Romy Gonzalez at first base, then Romy Gonzalez at second base, and then we're going to smell our own farts when we do it. Like, that's the way Alex Cora manages.
But they would tell you that, I think Alex Cora would tell you, oh, I won 118 games with a platoon lineup.
They didn't, but they can keep thinking that. Thank you, Stu. That I didn't like that, but thank you anyway.
I saw this and I wanted to throw up.
Let's go to Pat in Franklin, who's been waiting very patiently on this. Pat.
Hi, Pat.
Entertainment level of the last 2 hours.
You're welcome.
Extremely high.
Thank you.
And I can't follow some of these stud callers. I live in Franklin, and guess what county I live in?
Norfolk County.
That's correct.
Norfolk.
Not Norfolk.
Hey, do you know what I miss?
No.
I miss when the Red Sox mattered. I used to go $8 standing room ticket, watch Pedro and Clemens, park at the Sears parking lot, get a hot dog, come home. I spent $20. It was must see. It was must see. The Red Sox right now, guys. You just named the lineup. I kind of know 2 dudes there, 2 of them, right? It's just bad. Like they don't care anymore. You know.
It's rough, Pat. It's rough. Red Sox are not good for the name a guy game right now. Name a guy. Joey in Kingston, name a guy. Hi, Joey.
Did you win the contest, the hot dog
Mo
contest?
Vaughn, isn't he your favorite player, Red Sox of all time?
Mo Vaughn. The greatest player in the history of baseball, Joey. Come on.
I was at that game when he hit the grand slam opening day.
Oh, my God. Billy Lanny left that game early.
Did he
Crushing
really?
beers.
He did.
But I couldn't call in earlier. I was cleaning my yard when you guys were talking music. My yard looks like the Roswell debris field. But Jimmy Stu, you guys don't hear much from me in the afternoons, but I know you're a big wrestling guy.
Oh, boy.
George the Animal Steel, my all-time favorite wrestler. But, Matt, earlier this week, you were talking about Lindsey Buckingham, because I know you're electric guitar, and I appreciate you did. He's one of the most underrated guitarists ever. No one ever talks about him.
Couldn't agree more, Joey. Somebody said this the other day.
The hottest woman in rock and roll.
I mean,
but
did pretty well for himself.
Early 80s, I went and saw Tom Petty, and this is going to go to Stu. Stevie Nicks came out as guest star, Stop Dragging My Heart Around. Now, I saw him several years ago, and it was a last-second decision to go see him, and I'm glad I did, because he died 2 months later. So if there's someone out there you want to see, do it.
Joey, I was at that show, and I got to let you go on that because we're up against it. That was a hell of a show. I'm so glad I went and saw Petty. I'd seen him once before. I'm so glad I went and saw him there.
Yeah, I'm a big, especially with the way of the world the last few years. If you have a chance to go do something, go do it.
Do it. As you said,
tomorrow's not guaranteed for any of us.
That's very, very Jimmy Stewart, you're going to die. We continue. We'll wrap up the James Stewart You're Going to Die experience show program thing next.
Boston's home for sports. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
But no, I'm happy to be here. Happy that I get to do shows with you. So.
Stu, it is always fun. We've had a blast this morning on the Jimmy Stewart program. Coming up next,
I thought it was the experience, and we were going to just play Hendrix.
Yeah, we didn't. We didn't play as much Hendrix as next show.
So the problem is that I started with the Chop It Down, and it's like we can't have Stu singing Hendrix songs anymore. So
who says we can't?
Oh, the people.
I'm all about it. If Kyle wants to spin some Hendrix back there, he's more than welcome to, and you get Stu
not
singing.
now. Let Kyle log out.
I know. We'll
the producer turnover can kind of be an issue sometimes. I know. Logins and logouts.
Kyle Fabrizio has done a great job as always.
Awesome. God bless him.
Coming up next, we have
another experience.
I had quite the experience in the back hall because Alex Barth is coming on next with George from Nesson, who's a new member here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I don't know if we can get George's mic turned on there for his. Look at that! This kid, he knows how to run a board. He's
going
running
back to my Seton Hall background days. Yeah,
there we go. He's running Fred's board, and then fantastic. I'm sure Fred will have no problem at all with anybody.
George and Alex are entering the chat.
Yes, they are. They are entering the chat.
Stu loves that show title. Appreciate you, Jay Stu.
I go to George and I say, George, just so I make sure I'm pronouncing your name correctly, it's Bahaki, right? And he says, dude, you are not even close.
No, I laughed. I didn't even say anything.
Yeah, no,
never heard that before.
Just totally scoffed at me, and rightfully so, by the way. So, George, it's great to have you here. How do I actually pronounce your last name?
One last challenge. I told you how. Can you say it? Give us a go.
I don't remember, dude.
Balekji.
Balekji. There's no H in there whatsoever, right? The H sound?
Yeah. People I've worked with, like Adam Pellerin, love him. He'll still sometimes drop a Balekji in there, like, hey, it's Balekji. It's all good. I've grown up with it. Much worse nicknames in middle school, as you can imagine.
But you know what? Now when we do Bruins, we have a segment. George Bahaki.
Yeah, there we go. George about the hockey.
Bruins.
Yeah.
What do you guys have coming up today?
We're going to have some fun with it. You know I like to nerd out, so we're going to do a lot of hot dog eating contests, both the Red Sox mention and the rest of it. What's nerdier, Matt? Because you and Felger got after me for it this last year. Liking the hot dog eating contest or liking the home run derby?
Oh, the hot dog eating contest, for sure.
But the home run derby should be on the 4th of July.
That's a good idea.
Oh, that's a good take.
With fireworks in the final round. Game-winning home run fireworks.
I saw a couple people say it on Twitter yesterday. I can't take full credit, but
you know what? 4th of July, sneaky bad sports day. Yeah. You just have baseball, and I mean, I did like the matinee, 11 a.m. That worked for me.
Tremendous.
Yesterday.
So I will credit to Coley for that take, but it's kind of crazy. Baseball hasn't taken over the 4th of July. Like football has Thanksgiving. I know they're trying to have all the other holidays, but football has Thanksgiving. I shut your mind off. I had like my ideal 4th of July. I'm a big 4th of July person. It's one of my favorite holidays. It's this and Thanksgiving. Because it's all about food and relaxing. And those are the two things that I love the most.
Exactly.
So I slept in a little bit. I did go for a run in the morning, which was a little uncharacteristic of me, but I was due. Went for a run. Got home, my parents' friends were there, so they're coming over saying hi. So it's a real crowd going in and out. But
for you to not move, barely, you to be locked in the zone, you have to have the perfect number of humans you're hanging with, too.
I had just enough that it wasn't, hey, we're going down to the water, and I couldn't be the one a-hole that stayed back. But it wasn't too many people that I had, because I'm sort of hosting, right? It's at my parents' place.
Yep.
But it wasn't too many people that I felt like I had a traffic cop. And it's people who had come before. So everybody knew the drill. Everybody knows the drill. Like, they know they're showing up, and they're like, oh, you're watching the hot dog eating contest. Surprise, surprise. Everybody knew the drill, so it was great.
Your parents' place, technically, it's Hull?
Yeah.
Nantasket Beach?
Yeah.
When I first moved here, had a day off during the week, and I'm like, I need to go on a hike. It was perfect temperature on a September day. Found a good walking trail along the water in Hingham. And then I remember